is going on, everybody, and welcome in to episode number 67. 69? 67. 69.
69.
60. No, I know. You're so welcome, Scruffy. You are so welcome. You deserve it.
It's not
you
the
deserve
worst
it.
thing that I was expecting.
You deserve it. For everybody that's
nothing can ruin this episode though. And can we all just get a conjoined nice, please?
Nice.
I've been waiting for this.
Hey, what's the over under that our company that we use to stream out to all of our different channels is gonna fuck up tonight?
I'm giving it a good 65%.
Yeah,
I'm giving it a good 69. Yeah.
Yeah, 69 for sure.
69%.
69%. Yep.
69% of the time, every time.
Actually, I'm gonna do reverse. So I'm gonna say 96.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. It's episode number 69. It is the episode that Scruffy has been waiting so just patiently for. And then the night before the fucking show decides to go and just get completely obliterated out of his mind.
Wednesday night activities. I mean,
so that we have
Wednesday night. Everyone.
We have this wonderful picture of Scruffy in The Hangover.
What is he got? The Hangover.
Yeah, The Hangover. Yep. So if you're a non live streamer, if you don't watch the videos of the VODs that we put up after this, Scruffy is. Yeah, it's an accurate picture, man. I mean, you look like Ed Helm.
It is.
So, yeah. So anyway, but welcome in, everybody. Episode 69 of the Pre-Patch Podcast is kicked off live and ready to go. We got quite a bit of stuff to talk about. A couple different games that we've all played. And then as well, on top of that, we've also got a good amount of news to talk about. Not too crazy, but it's getting the end of the year. So that's kind of norm, right?
Yeah, it should be a nice low-key cast.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you guys are new here, we obviously do this every other Thursday, right here across all of our channels. Holding down on the YouTube side is Bill, myself, and Scruffy, as well as the Pre-Patch channel. And then you've also got Mr. Enigma holding it down on the Twitch side of the world, keeping our purple nice and purpley.
Yes, sir.
So we'll convert them one day, maybe. But we'll see.
Don't just infest us with your ads. Like, keep those on your side.
God. Hey, man, hey, don't skip ahead.
Listen, YouTube ads are just as bad.
I was about to say, bro, like YouTube ads are just as bad. It's just you can skip them.
Yeah,
don't skip ahead. So, no, it's gonna be a good show. It's quite a lot of stuff to talk about. And obviously you can always check us out at anchor.fm/prepatch podcast. And you can go and take a look there and get all the previous episodes and catch up. There's 69 episodes at 2 hour plus long on some of them. That's a lot of listening time, boys and girls. And I'm sure that this episode will be filled with all of the innuendos that we possibly can fit in. There's one. That's what she said. Anyway, all right. No, you don't get to talk. You don't have a camera on. You don't get to engage. You just sit there. All right. So if you're new to the channel, guys, we kick off every single episode by talking about Twitch and YouTube news. This is no different. This one, it's not so. There's not as much drama on the on either side as more as it's kind of just elevating. In
Unless
regards.
you consider Markiplier starting an OnlyFans drama, but it's for charity, so I don't see how you can make drama out of that.
Dude, I love Markiplier. He literally is just like, I'm gonna start shit just to start shit. Like just because I can.
Especially
he just wanted to beat Joe Rogan on the podcast sites. That was literally the only thing he wanted to do. He just wanted to beat Joe.
Yeah.
So
and thirst will get you there. Apparently,
it will. I mean, it's right now, dude. Drama is like whether it's meme drama or regular drama, it's just the best way of getting seen. So if you guys want to become popular on the internet, man, Zoomers love the drama and the memes. So.
Low key, there's a small segment of the internet that was trying to cancel Markiplier for false advertising because whenever they just saw Markiplier OnlyFans and assumed, and
you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, well, he made it blatantly clear, and he has continued to make it clear that it's going to be tasteful nudes similar to that calendar that he released a few years ago for charity.
Did he
So
release like one of those sexy calendars? I
one of
must
those
have missed
sexy
that.
calendars, yeah. So it's going to be
Nice.
stuff similar to that, but yeah, people are like, yeah, he false advertised us to get him to boost his podcast, and he's not even going to show us his dong.
Do you really want to see it? Is that like what people are clamoring for nowadays? Is
People want
Markiplier's
Mark dong, yeah, man.
All right,
It's
that's cool. I can't even
that's where
show.
we're at as a society. You're welcome.
Yes,
Yep.
man. Okay, well, awesome. Well, I promise you're not going to get Mark Dong here. So, but yeah. So on, we'll start with the YouTube side, and then kind of go to the Twitch side. Normally we start vice versa, but there was actually quite a bit that kind of changed over on the YouTube side. It was it's nothing crazy, you know, out of this world, but like there were some subtle UI changes, and design changes that happened, with adding pinch to zoom, adding they added a bunch of features. I mean, it was pinch to zoom, they rounded corners, ambient lighting. They added now like your categories inside your actual video or your channel has
That is my favorite change.
yeah the
Yeah.
VODs and live and
nice.
stuff like that, where it's all separated, which is super dope. I
Nothing was more annoying than going into somebody's video tab and you see their videos, their shorts, and their live streams all smushed together, and
The only-
it's
Go ahead.
it's a better viewer experience, and I hope that they continue to translate that viewer experience over to the direct live portion of things.
Yeah, I
Because
think that's definitely most needed
it is 100%, but this is a good quality of life change,
for sure.
especially considering that this once again reinforces that shorts and live streaming are something that they are taking at least somewhat seriously enough to make their own sections in the channels now. So
have you found? So the
I'm
only thing that
excited about it.
the only thing that doesn't irritate me, but I want to know if there's a way around it. Is there a way to mark like live streams that you want in your videos as videos, or no? Do you have to go in and edit them out and make them their own individual content? So like because like right now, if I go to my video section, right, it's only got videos that I have uploaded or created inside of their semi great system that they've got. But like, is there a way that I can make my live streams just I guess videos, but I guess that would just defeat the
No.
purpose of what they're trying to do.
Nope, that would defeat the purpose. You would need to download the VOD and then re-upload it.
So the only
Which,
thing that
again, would defeat the purpose.
Yeah, the only thing I wish that they would allow then is for us to be able to edit, like if we don't want sections there, like, which I get some people maybe like that's kind of like, why would you not want it? But like, I don't upload a ton of videos. It's just not my style. I like live streaming. I like shorts. So like if I could go in there and just kind of uncheck that, that would be.
I
fine
agree.
with me.
Give a little bit more channel customization so that if you never touch shorts, there's no reason to have the shorts tab up there.
Right.
But it's a minor
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, it's
but
a step in the
think
right
it would be
direction
a
for
nice
sure.
Quality of life change on the creator side.
It's like Luff says, like a highlight. I know that like Twitch has highlights. That's one thing with Twitch. Their editor I actually like is like you can go in there, take
Their editor
a
actually
certain
works.
Yeah,
the
and that's
editor
the
here-
other thing is like
Yeah.
for a content creation site that's all about videos, having an editor that hardly fucking works. I'm just like, ooh, what the
It's-
hell,
Yeah.
boys?
And it takes like 36 hours for the
Yeah.
if you're doing it from a live stream for it to re-upload that live stream
That's
as a video
crazy,
for
dude.
you.
Yeah.
I
Twitch,
still have shit.
Twitch, you go
processing.
and take a fucking live stream of Twitch and you clip it out and it takes like 30 minutes to fucking process and you're good to go.
Yeah, I still have shit processing like that I did like
Crazy,
weeks
dude.
weeks
I,
ago.
Like some
I
stuff gets
still, if I were you guys, I would just like I know
Just
it's
download
it's
it.
it's janky. I wouldn't even download it because downloading it at where we're at is just going to drop the resolution to 720. I would just go in and record it right from the VOD, like record the
Right.
section out that you want, and then re-upload it from there.
There's that, and then
You'll
I've
have less
found
resolution drop.
a very like scuffed, like rudimentary way to like get around their editor of like to where I want to pull a clip, because they have like the not the clip feature now, but they have like the direct like short feature. You can make shorts from content, but I don't like that so much because it only like takes some of that content. But in the editor, I go to like the VOD, I trim and cut, and then I find that specific spot, I trim and cut like 30 seconds out, and I save it as a new video. And then the most important thing is I discard the changes after that, because if
Well-
you don't discard the changes, it will do that processing error like glitch, and it
Well,
will
what
never
they
unprocess.
what they should allow us to do is just go in, and we can already clip shit. So just like give us the ability to clip it and then just post it as a short.
Download the clip.
Like
Yeah,
download the
I-
clip and post it as
yeah.
a short. Like
I agree.
you know. So again, these are things a step in the right direction. Where I don't give it passes is just like Enigma said. You know, this is a long time video VOD content site that is kind of, you know, why would you not implement these things? I mean, again, it steps in the right direction, but fuck's sake, man, you've been around for decades. Like,
Best
come on.
the best update in my opinion, is the fucking RGB in the
Oh,
background
yeah.
of the
Yo,
video.
okay,
We definitely
you-
needed that.
I don't think it was
Low-key,
needed.
it looks
I
good,
like it.
though.
Yeah, I
Low-key,
like
it.
it.
Looks real good though. It's
I'm just
completely
saying,
necessary.
we
Yeah.
Their
definitely
chat
needed
experience
that.
is
Yeah.
so garbage,
We definitely needed that over an actual chat
priority, man.
experience.
but it
Yep.
do look good though.
It does.
That in every window is rounded. I'm like, great job, guys. We definitely you fucking step forward in the right direction. Rounded windows.
I mean,
As
man,
much as we meme
Susan.
about it, aesthetics do
You
go
know,
a long
it
way
is-
for like bringing people in. Like, if something looks ugly, people are less likely to stick around. So, as much as we're
I think
memeing
that
about it,
was
it
a flaw
it
with
is
Mixer,
pretty positive.
honestly. Mixer
Well,
honestly looked
was ugly as hell.
It was bad.
Look,
you
here's
know?
what I'm gonna tell you, right? Like working for a, I mean, it's not hidden. I work for Corsair, right? Like working for a major brand like this, I can tell you, we spend a lot of time and a lot of manpower, like looking at these type of things, right? Rounding on a corner, like we would sit back here and be like, this is fucking stupid. Like, you know, you're wasting. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man, somebody somewhere, they did their research to look at this and they saw an uptick and people being like, oh, the rounded edges. And I will say it is a softer
Yeah, I
look.
mean, it's
Like it's
UX.
you know,
It's UX UI design. Like that's what I went to school to do. I definitely agree with you. But on the other hand, you do UI and UX last.
well, yes, there's a lot of stuff. You know, the way that I'm sure that somebody somewhere did this was like, oh, this is just a quick fix change that we can kind of push out. Let's just get it
Yeah.
done and say we did it, to have something out there. You know, and again, it's not bad, right? But there are a lot of other things that, you know,
Yeah.
we
I mean,
would
if
like
it's a quick
fixed.
thing that they can put out like in the meantime of while they work on the bigger problems, just to kind of like let the people know and like give the people like just a little, you know, drip feed or whatever, then I don't think it's that bad, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you have to keep in mind that if this was on the Twitch side, we would be ramming the shit out of them because it was, hey, you guys are fixing this shit when you have a dumpster
Twitch-
fire of.
Yeah, Twitch,
So-
Twitch
Exactly.
would have
So
they
it's-
would have radiated their streams with like ads or something. Like
Well, I mean, yes, as
So-
YouTube is making adjustments to round their corners, Twitch is being
Yeah.
like, hey, by the way, like we're gonna shove 8-minute ads down your fucking throat.
Mhm.
You know, so but yes, I think that the big thing here, steps in the right direction. But again, I would want more focus to say on like things that we need. What I will say is that, and I apologize, guys, for whatever reason, my cough decided it wanted to come back, so I'm trying to deal with that. But I love it. There are a few features in here that I really do enjoy. One of which is the ability to, when you scroll, if you're scrolling through a video and you move up, it will give you the like thumbnail version of what you're seeing. That's really super nice. Like I really like that feature. You know, for someone that's spending a lot of time on YouTube, it's very, very enjoyable.
Hasn't that been there for a minute though?
I don't think so. That was something they announced
talking
during
about like
this.
when you hover over a thumbnail.
No. Whenever you go and you're like scrubbing through a video, if you move your mouse up while you're scrubbing, it will give you like individualized clips of like what, like, it will give you individualized thumbnails of what you're looking at. Not like you have to go look, like it gives you basically a play-by-play card thumbnail of what is going on in the it's a live preview. Like it's a live preview of what's happening in the video.
It's always on
Gotcha.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I
No,
thought it's always done that.
It's done it where like if you hover
It's
over
not
it
a
and you're
still
scrubbing
frame
it
anymore, right?
right, like you can see the whole thing. So like it makes it very easy to do it.
Okay.
It's actually really nice. The other thing that they did, I'm super stoked about, they fucking gave us handles. Like they gave us
Yeah,
the
and they're
handles
finally
and
getting pushed out too. So that's
Yep.
nice.
so handles are now fully, and I think you don't even have to be at 100. I think you can just, anybody can have handles if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
anybody
anybody.
can do it.
Anybody can
Yeah.
have handles now, which is dope.
Get
So-
your handles, everybody.
Which, if you were already at 100, it just instantly makes whatever you chose for your channel name to be your handle. So
Yeah.
that was super convenient too.
Yep.
My favorite part about the handles is literally, I mean, it doesn't really matter for me because obviously I'm not on YouTube, but I went to try and get my Twitch username as a handle. There is no handle. Like if you go and do the youtube.com/@ enigmatical gaming, there's nothing there, but it says it's taken.
Is that because
I'm just like, okay,
you and yourself are an enigma? So it's kind of like, how do I solve this puzzle? I don't understand.
yeah.
What
I don't
what are
get
you
it, yeah.
asking me to do? So that's on the YouTube side. I don't know if there were anything else that you guys wanted to kind of cover on the YouTube changes. I think we pretty much hit them all there.
I wanted one more thing. YouTube has been playing around with playlists and stuff and how they are being pushed with videos. So now if you have a video that is part of a playlist, if somebody clicks on your video and stuff, it'll have the playlist that it's a part of above the title of the video, and it'll also have down in the description a run through of the playlist and like different videos from that playlist to kind of keep pushing people into your content. It gives another way for people to continue engaging with that creator on what they're doing.
I thought that
that was pretty neat.
Did it autoplay the playlist, or did it just autoplay in the next video that was in line?
You can set it up to autoplay either a specific video, next video, a playlist. You have control over that, but this is just giving it kind of like in that metadata, like just to help that little push. I think sometimes it would have the playlist over in the recommended section, but now it's going to be like if that video is part of a playlist, it will show up as description and have several different points where you can interact with it.
Nice.
That way, if you have one video that pops off within a playlist of specific content, it could potentially boost other videos in that playlist to grow as well. So it's pretty neat.
Very nice.
So moving on to
I was gonna say just really quick, didn't they already do that with playlists? Like I know they didn't do it with the tags, but like if you had a video inside of a playlist, it would just automatically not request, I recommend the next in the playlist.
That's what
it
I was
was
saying.
likely to request the next in the playlist, but it would only do it 100% of the time if somebody went to your channel, selected that playlist, and played it from that playlist. This, if they just see the video anywhere, it'll automatically recommend the playlist.
Gotcha.
So one of our viewers brings up a good point in chat, is to make sure that your created playlists are in the order that you want them. So because otherwise, if not, they're going to be getting awkward. A lot of, right. So make sure your playlists are set properly. Okay, let me go for the trifecta. Moving on to Twitch. Okay, cool. I can move on to Twitch. All right, awesome. So Twitch decided, we kind of joked about this, but they decided to come out with this whole, well, okay, let's start at the beginning. They took away in September the whole 70-30 split, right? Like they talked about it then, right? It rolled out. And then they basically said, no, yeah, but we're gonna make it like really worth your time with ads. Nobody was happy about this. Like nobody was fucking happy about it. So Twitch was like, yo, we're gonna make it better. Don't worry, we're gonna like give you like, we're gonna up the amount that you're able to earn, right? So everybody was like, okay, well let's see what you can do. And it seems from my research and doing this that the numbers are wildly different, like for different creators. Like some people are getting, as Asmongold had tweeted out,
they're saying it's based on viewer average, but even that it seems way off.
Yeah,
even within like single like channel people, like Distortion 2, a Soul speedrunner, so to kind of give a brief summary of what they're doing. If you roll a minute per hour or 3 minutes per hour? Is that
one minute ad per hour or 3 minutes?
I thought it was a 3.
Well, no, there's 2. You have multiple ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're basically, if you do that for X amount, like throughout a month, they will give you a bounty basically for ad pushing. So, and it'll disable your pre-roll ads, which I think is the cherry on top, like the golden, like the silver lining to this situation, is that if you do follow through with these kinds of things, you'll get your pre-roll ads disabled, so that people that come to your channel don't have to sit through 8 ads before they can actually see you. Which
But they had
is kinda nice.
they had that before. That was still a way that you could do that. You could run a certain amount of ads
Yeah.
prior to it to get the pre-roll ads to go away. The problem with that though is that what happens if you're still running ads? Like some people are some people's incentives, like again, Asmongold kind of pointed out that their incentives was 8 minutes of ads an hour. Like, you know, what if you go in and like what happened? You're still
That's how you
rolling the
kill a
dice.
channel. Yeah.
Right. Like you still roll the dice to say, okay, cool. If I pop into your channel, oh, I have 8 minutes worth of ads, like to sit like fuck. I mean, I don't know, man.
absurd.
I mean, the pre-roll ads are
what the
fucking
bounty
crazy.
system is. If you follow these criteria, they are going to directly pay you out a specific amount. This is for partners only, based on it's supposedly based on their channel size. But like I was saying, Distortion 2, I think he's one of the top soul streamers right now as far as the speedrunning goes. His 1 minute of ads per hour and his 3 minute of ads per hour was only $10 different. He was only going to make $10 more for 2 extra minutes of ads. So
Yup.
Yeah, fuck that.
it's wildly different even within channels. And then to grow that issue out even more, like you were saying, Asmongold, Sweet Anita, a bunch of other stuff have brought up what their bounties are. They're all over the place.
Well, dude,
man.
Sweet Anita's went down.
This-
Sweet Anita's
Well, this is just a continuous thing with Twitch, and this is one thing that I will definitely lambast them for. Is it's like there's never any fucking, you know, actual like hard evidence, you know, or actual hard information of what exactly we're getting. Right
all
prior to
pick and
this,
choose,
prior to
man.
this with the subscriptions, it was, you know, hey, you get the 50-50 split or the 50-75 or whatever the fuck it was, right? But this person gets the 30-40 or 30 whatever it was, you know. Twitch is terrible with that shit. It's right along with their ban rates as well, where they just fucking roll the dice and whatever it lands on a D20, that's what you get.
So
you know?
let me give you just the range here, right? Because I have some of these pulled up, and these are people that tweeted them out, so we're not divulging any information, right? This is stuff that's on openly out there. So, all right, so Sweet Anita's, she tweeted hers out last month, last with the old ad setup. She actually was going to make more. So she was 1173.75 with the new system, 1099.65. So she went down, even though her channel has grown. Just keep that in mind. Even though her channel has grown. Distortion, $10 difference, 25.81 for a 1 minute, 3 minutes, 25.91. Here's the one that's even
Crazy,
that's crazy, dude. So Meow Moonified. 1 minute of ads, $448. 3 minutes of ad, $1107. 4 minutes of ad, $1472. Like as a creator that, and I haven't gone to check this person's, you know, CCV or whatever else, but I'm assuming that it's probably, you know, they're not the highest content creator in the world or whatever else, and they're probably making do, but that's hard money to pass up. You want to see the kicker? King Italian, $69,702.
Jeez.
I did. Hold on a sec. I'm going to run some ads, guys. I'll be right back.
$69,702.
Nice.
Like
nice.
Nice.
you
Nice.
like you gotta be kidding. Like honestly, I kind of am like, well, yeah. I mean, I'd
that
run some
bad.
ads.
We're
for
heading back to Twitch, boys.
yeah, right. So last stream on YouTube, going back to Twitch, gonna go run some ads. I'm just
Good
gonna be. That's all I'm gonna do.
Nah,
Actually, I'm just.
Well, we can't let Sin take all the money from the pre-patch podcast though. He would.
I'm gonna.
He'd take
Dude,
all the collectings. You'd be screwed.
hey, don't you got a buzzball to go fucking wolf down or something or some shit?
No, it's an 8-ball. It's an 8-ball.
You gotta get out of here.
The crazy thing about it is I'm waiting for someone to gamify this meta and just do nothing but run ads. Like just legitimately,
Right.
I'm just gonna make an
I've seen
ad
it. I
channel.
I'm sure it's happened. Yeah.
When that Omega Striker game came out, like I was going through some streams, there was a guy who was just farming ads with a black screen, and his channel was up for
Crazy,
20
dude.
hours plus. I reported it,
Crazy.
and like it was still up the next day, just farming 8-minute round
Oh,
ads.
I mean, of course it is. It's making Twitch money. They're not going to ban that. What the fuck are you talking about?
right? I
Why are you
know.
trying to hurt a man's way to making cheddar, man? He's
Yeah,
trying to
why
feed his
are
family.
you trying to ban a guy out of getting some money, bro?
My bad. I guess I'm the
Fuck.
bad guy here. Shit.
Jeez, oh man.
Just jealous, man. He's jelly,
I
bro.
guess.
It's crazy, dude. It is. That is absolutely just insane to me. like the wild difference, and then just that thing. I don't. I mean, it again, it all just points to the kind of, call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever else, the Illuminati, whatever. I really think that Amazon is just doing what they can to just drive that company into the dirt, or that section of it, and to enough to where they can get somebody somewhere within the company to say, we need to get rid of this. Like it's just,
I don't know.
sense.
Honestly, I don't know if it's Amazon anymore. I think this is straight Twitch. I think Amazon is just like, do whatever the fuck you want to. We don't give a fuck.
You think Twitch would? What do you think Twitch is just trying to lower their own value?
I think
to get
Twitch
sold
is
off?
trying to devalue their own shit so that they can just be like, okay, get rid of it. We're done. To somebody take it off my hands.
Yeah, maybe.
I still think
plausible.
Microsoft buying it would be the best bet for
I
everybody.
think it'd be
Absolutely,
awesome
yeah.
if Microsoft bought it, dude. But we'll see.
I'd be interested in
Like,
Microsoft.
I mean,
Microsoft
they're buying out
for their
everything else.
acquisition.
Yeah,
I'm on board with this one. We
they're
need
buying out everybody
proper
else. Why the fuck
competition.
not?
We can't have one tanking.
Google just buys it. Google's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna why work on ours? We'll just buy it and integrate it.
That would be a
I
loss.
mean-
that would be illegal. I'm pretty sure. I think that would.
It would be indeed.
Yeah.
Are you saying that shady illegal shit doesn't happen in our government every single day of the week? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that with how important online digital broadcasting is, I don't think they're going to let one company subsidize that entire market.
Oh, come
I
on. You
think there's
could
I
you
think
go to
there's
Trovo.
You got Facebook. Come on.
there's Facebook, there's Trovo, there's Hitbox.
Speaking of Facebook, let's talk about Facebook for a minute, guys.
Are you about to jump ahead into the news section? If you're about to talk about the VR stuff, you better hold on. It's a great segue, but it doesn't follow the format. You gotta follow the
Bill
format.
is now the host.
Yeah.
Nope.
Sorry, Sin, your days are over.
Bill saying, "Fuck you, Sin. You're the producer. I'm the host now.
Scruffy, go chug a Four Loco and come back and talk to me.
Get back to work.
No,
Yeah.
Bring me up a picture of a pigeon.
Yes, it was a great fucking segue, but we have a format that we followed for 69 episodes. Well, 68.
Nice.
We're not just gonna
Okay.
fucking stop now.
What are we playing, boys?
What are we playing? Well, Bill is playing apparently Facebook Finder 98. All right. So what we've been playing. So actually, Bill, we're gonna start with you since you're so eager to jump the gun. You have been playing a game called Faith, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
So
So the
Tell us about
Faith-
Faith.
yeah, so it's an indie game made by Airdorf. It is the third installment of the series came out, and it's finally went to Steam. Before you had to like get it on like itch.io or like download it from their Patreon or whatnot. But it's officially pushed to Steam. They pushed it as a bundle for all three games, so it's Faith: The Unholy Trinity. Faith 1 and 2 I'd already played before. They're phenomenal horror games. Faith 3 was the new edition. It's nice, man. It's a really unique take on horror. You wouldn't think that like this 8-bit style horror would work.
Right.
But the way this guy's art style is, going from like the 2D style, like walking around, like almost Atari ET.
I was about to say, this reminds me of those old Atari games, man. Like straight up.
And
definitely.
that's entirely intentional. But then it goes into these cutscenes that it still has that 8-bit pixel style, but it's fully motion captured.
It's so cool, honestly.
It's really, really neat. And it
Yeah.
actually has some decent mechanics to the game as well. Like there's boss fights, there's puzzles, there's enemies that so for anybody that's not familiar, Faith is a game about a priest that is being haunted by a failed exorcism. And it's basically his story going through all three of these games, trying to correct the wrong that he did to this family that he failed to exorcise their daughter. So it's really well done. It's a really good story. Mechanically, it's a lot of fun to play. They're all very short games. The first two are about an hour long. The third one is about 2 hours long. So roughly 5-6-ish hours total between the trilogy. But I like it. If you're into indie horror games, this is one that I highly recommend. This along with like some of the PS1 style. Like I love the demake genre. I think it's really underrated and
Demake genre.
underappreciated.
I can't believe that's a genre now. We're demaking games. That's a genre.
Because they were better back then.
They're better back then, man.
Well, the thing about this is that it really, one, I mean, I love 8-bit style. I love retro style. I think it's a phenomenal thing. And what's crazy is that this used to be fucking high tech back in the day. If you go back to the Atari days, this was high tech,
dude. Used
but
to be pinnacle.
What this does, and I was reading a really good like write up about just kind of it was about the horror genre specifically in regards to video games and how things are made, because honestly in today's world, like, we go so hyper realistic with things or whatever, that really everybody is so desensitized that making horror games is actually very hard to do. But by doing this and putting you in a world where you're not comfortable necessarily with 8-bit, you're not used to it, it automatically sets you on edge. It automatically puts you on very kind of being uncomfortable, not necessarily in like I can't play this and it's like visually not like nauseating or stuff like that, but like it puts you on edge a little bit. And then, like you said, when they do the motion capture, like when you went through that one scene with the gurney and the guy was like strapped to it, like you could tell just that it was a very unnerving, unnatural kind of viewpoint. So it made you feel, weird.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So.
And one thing that 8-bit style, like, if you're going to go with a game the style, you need to go all in on it. They went the full like MIDI style with the audio. And I think the audio is probably the best aspect of this game, like low-key. All the voice acting is done in MIDI style. So everything's very unsettling because you can tell it's words, but it don't sound right. Like none of the characters have like.
Give me a second here, and we actually, because of the way that we have it set, let me just make sure that none of these are showing as playing. They shouldn't be. They're not. Cool. We should actually be able to give you guys audio. Let me see if you guys can.
It's our first ever.
Are we safe to just leave?
So Bill's talking. Obviously, I don't know if you guys.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys
Mr.
can hear.
Cop, you got hung up there. Allow me to help you.
But anyway, you can hear like the. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It is extreme.
Yeah.
That is.
We could.
Yeah, that is extremely.
Yeah, it's that old Atari feel, man. That's how a lot of the old Atari games
makes it
were.
so much more terrifying too.
Yeah, and the use of silence. So there's a overlying score throughout most of these games, but anytime they want to add tension to it, all they really have to do is just completely cut the noise. There's no character walking, there's no environmental noises, there's no music. Pure silence is something that I feel like is underutilized in a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
And when properly done, I think it can aesthetically add to a lot, especially with a minimalistic style like 8-bit.
That's the hardest thing I think about it is using, like, I love silence in general. Like I mean, just to decompress and sit in, like, I'll sit in a room of silence and just kind of meditate and whatever else. But like, it's very hard to use, especially in movies and film and video games, to be done properly. Like you said, so it's cool that they actually nail it here. Because that is a very, very difficult thing to do and to do well.
Absolutely.
So.
But yes, Faith, the Unholy Trinity. I had a lot of fun with it. There's multiple endings to all of these games. I think each game has 5 different endings, depending on what routes you go with the ending of the first 2 games. And then the third one actually through choices that you make throughout all of the chapters, and how much you actually explore and stuff will change your outcome at the end of the third chapter. So. Was
this design style all the same all the way through, like for 1 and 2? Same thing?
Yep, 100% the same style. They didn't upgrade any of the graphics or anything. The only thing that did improve was they got a lot better with the pixelized motion capture. Those get more and more aesthetically disturbing as you go through the games. Like there's a mocap thing where the main character is having a nightmare and he's getting surrounded by cultists, and then his face just like melts off.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's
like Arnie, like Arnold Schwarzenegger from what's it called?
Exactly.
Old ass movie.
Only 8-bit.
It's
nice. Does it say in the balls?
It's $15.
It says in the balls.
In the balls, yeah.
In the balls.
That's $15 for all 3 games.
$15 for all 3 games. Yeah.
Wow, that's
not bad at all, man.
That's good. Yeah,
that's really good. Cool. All right. Well, and you said it's on Steam, correct?
Yep, it's on Steam now. Faith the Unholy
Nice.
Trinity. Yep. You cannot buy them individually. Unfortunately, you can only buy them as the bundle. So
Well, that
Hey,
that
15
wasn't too
bucks
well.
ain't bad for
But you
40
have
games.
the ability to
As-
get them individually through Airdorf's Patreon and stuff. So
This is
there's
something
options.
you want to play all of them together, though. I'm sure it's.
Oh yeah, and with
Yeah.
it only being like a 6-hour runtime,
Yeah.
it's easy to just go through it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, we are going to move on to our next game as well. We're jumping around timeline wise here, but we
Listen, I
Rainbow
got
Six
yelled at for
Siege this
jumping
year?
around.
oh, too loud. I got to remember to mute since I have unmuted now. But all right, we all played Boomin'.
Ooh, man.
Boob man.
So Scruffy, you kind of found this game, so I'll let you kind of describe it, and then we'll kind of
Sure.
all jump in on it. But please give
Sure,
us the
yeah.
Boomin'.
It's it's a very interesting game for sure. It's a game where you and either friends, if you want them to join you, you play and you go through like a house, you burglarize or whatever, So you're burglars in this house and you're tasked with stealing items on a list, and all while you got to stay out of the dark because there's something lurking in the dark, and that something is
Grandma.
either grandma backing it up on you, a terrifying dog werewolf thing, a troll that likes to eat sin, apparently. And wasn't
Fucking
there
Bill
one
Body
more?
Block,
It
damn
is,
it.
Creepy little
This
girl.
little
good.
girl,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, little girl. I don't think we ever got that though, but yeah, I had decent hopes going into this game, and it's not a bad game for sure. It's another one of those, I guess, October, new releases kind of popping out of nowhere like Phasmo did like a couple years back, and it's very reminiscent of Phasmo. I think it's likely the same engine. It looks very much like Phasmo did
Bro,
when Phasmo first came out.
Can I just say, when I walked into that room, that
Yeah.
we were literally just talking about it just right there in the clip. I walked into that room, the globe, the shine of the glow sticks scared the fuck out of me, dude. I
Yeah.
walked into that room and was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, I know. But I mean, the game is kind of creepy, but it's also pretty goofy. And it might be just due to a lack of, I guess, I don't know.
Like a polish.
Yeah, polish. Yeah, because
Specifically on the AI aspect of things.
Yeah.
the AI is very janky. At the core, like, it's a fun little game to play because it's challenging and you have fun trying to go through this house, stealing items with your buds. But it also is pretty hard because some of these items are really hard to find. Like when you get down
I would
to like
say
the
that's
last
almost too
two.
hard in some situations.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I don't know, man. For an $8 game, we got it, I think, on sale for about $4.
Like $4,
Right.
yeah, like
Yeah,
$4 and
definitely
change.
not bad. I can see it improving over the years to come. Just as Phasmo did. I don't think it'll ever pop off as much as Phasmo did, though. I think that was definitely
No,
Phasmo
I
hit the
mean,
nail on the head with everything.
even right now, Phasmo still gets
It's-
copied and shit. Like, there's no way that
Yeah.
it can.
No,
I just don't think this has it in it. It's got an interesting like aspect to it where instead of like trying to figure out what the ghost is, you're trying to steal shit from
Yeah.
the ghost, which is it's unique in its
I'd
own
like to see more
aspect. But
variety in it.
Yeah.
Because it gets very bland.
it does.
There's not much
Yeah.
replayability.
I played a little bit more with my buddies the other night, and we did like 4 or 5 maps, and
Yeah.
it just after a certain point, it just gets to a point where it's just like, okay, I've done everything.
Yeah,
I'm
you're kind of
good.
just running around clicking on everything.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Well,
and like you say that it's difficult, but like after playing with you guys, and then after playing a couple with my buddies, like we were getting in and out of like in and out of
I'm definitely
locations pretty
sure
quick.
just remembering locations of where everything
Yeah.
spawns. Because I'm
Well,
sure
and
there's
once
not much variety
the
at that
problem
even.
the problem that we had was we didn't know what the fucking objects looked like to
Yeah.
a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
So like once I figured out what the object looked like, it was just okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Where's the fucking wine bottle? Oh, it's probably in the kitchen. You know.
What would-
Oh, there it is. There it is.
what would be
Yeah.
cool is if they added a update to where it could be asynchronous multiplayer. Someone plays the ghost and hides the shit.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they hide the stuff and then are trying to hunt you down. That would be a cool little addition.
That could be cool.
I think as well. I mean,
There's
it's okay.
stuff they could do to it, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's I don't know. I mentioned this when we were playing it. Like the thing about it is that Phasmophobia kind of happened, and a lot of people not saying that this was one of these, but Phasmophobia happened and a lot of people jumped on that train. Just like when you had like Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
Look at Vampire Survivors and holy fuck, man! Everybody now is like trying to make this like quick thing.
Very true.
And there's some games that are really good. That do it really, really well. I'm not knocking this. It's $4, I think, like that, or like $5.
It's 8 now, but yeah.
It's like
it's
8, yeah, normally.
It's not bad. I don't know.
I mean, $8 maybe.
The cool thing that with like Phasmophobia and everything, it sparked a new genre, and it ignited like a bunch of other developers to make games like it, and we found a few good ones from it, just like that haunt one or Haunt Chasers or whatever, and then now there's even I'd even go as far as saying like that new Ghostbusters game is trying to be kind of like a Phasmo too.
Yeah. What I'm excited about mainly is I'm excited with this type of genre to see what can be done in like Unreal Engine 5. Like that to me is going to be, I think, really cool to give us that like ultra realistic version of something like this. Like, yeah, that's
well, we've been seeing those previews on the on Twitter of that
found footage game.
Found footage game, yeah. That thing looks creepy as shit, dude.
Is that Unreal Engine 5?
Yeah,
that is Unreal Engine 5. Yeah,
that game is gonna be nuts.
Yes,
I think 2 devs too, if I'm not.
One thing I will say about this one is it worked. It was an indie game, a cheap indie game that was actually like 100% functional.
Yeah,
right.
There was no. The only issue I think we had was like
I don't know if I would say 100% functional. It was like 92% functional.
I mean, the monster clips through the wall sometimes grabs you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest drawback is the AI, but
I will agree with you. Like all the mechanics and everything like that for sure, 100% worked.
Yeah, it was never like a situation where you loaded into the map and like not all the items spawned or whatnot.
Yeah. So,
see.
No, booming. It's like $8. I don't know if it's worth $8, but hey, it's there if you're
maybe eventually we'll see
if you're really into this genre. On there. Moving on, Scruffy and I actually dove into a game that came out and then we all kind of like didn't really mess too much with it. And then got the itch, and I dove into it, and then Scruffy also jumped into it. But Marauders. And I will say, like, so if you're unfamiliar with Marauders, this is a Tarkov light, and it is in space. The premise here is that it's basically post World War II. The world ended in nuclear disaster because we dropped the bomb in over in Japan. Japan said, fuck you, drop bombs. Germany dropped bombs. Everyone's just dropping bombs, right? And so now the Earth was
so basically what's going to happen in another couple months.
Yeah, brick and all that kind of stuff. So, essentially, so it forced everybody up into space, and now you're like in this like post World War II style. When you think about it, you're like, do I really want to go back to World War II? But like, I actually like the World War II aesthetic, the World War II mechanics to it. It's actually really enjoyable.
I like the combination they have here. Like it just works for some reason. Like you would think that it wouldn't, like a space game with World War II tech and everything. Well, yeah,
it works. The cool thing about this is that again, it's Tarkov, but it's Tarkov light, which is really nice because it doesn't make it to a point where like Tarkov can be very overwhelming. Like the learning curve in Tarkov is a fucking mountain if it and it can be to the point where you just don't want to play at all because it's so unnerving. And in this, it's not that. Like you get in, you can have a really good run, just like you can, and they are basically it's like, hey, you have a backpack, you loot it, you have different armor, you put it on, you can attach 2 different types of weapons, right? Or attachments to your weapons are like 3 different things to your weapons, and that's really about it. And you just go in and there's AI. The one I will say, the AI is fucked. Like the AI is not
stupid as shit.
Yeah, it's not really really bright. And the audio,
Tarkov's AI isn't really that bright either, is it? Like they've
it's gotten
have they
better.
updated it?
Yeah, it's gotten better. It's still not
I
great,
gotcha.
but like it's gotten better. This is like what Tarkov AI was when Tarkov. Well,
Originally, yeah.
well, I would say Scruff. What do you think? A little bit better than original Tarkov AI. Not much.
I don't
I remember
know.
I remember
It's
when Tarkov first released, the scavs were stupid as fuck. They just like walk into walls. They just
Yeah.
continuously walk into walls.
it's kind of on the same page. I don't know. There's some points like the this how smart they are. They will just kind of run around sometimes and then like 180 whip you and shoot you, or sometimes they'll like be stormtroopers. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's hit or miss.
Yeah, it's so if you're into extraction shooters, it's a really good extraction shooter. The other cool thing that they add into it, which I actually really like, is this element that you're seeing here, which is flying. So you have got in normal like Tarkov, you just load into your game and then you're in the raid. In this, you actually you can either solo, you can have up to I think 4 people in your cockpit or in your crew, but you actually load into this space. That you can then go in and you shoot down ships. You can breach ships, before they get into the raid. There's enemy like NPC ships that you can jump onto and get stuff and raid. It's again, when you look at it and you think about it, you're like this is just an added feature that doesn't really need to be there, but it actually adds quite a bit of uniqueness to it, in my opinion, because again, you can choose to like, I'm gonna jump and breach this ship and then I can get out from there. Like if they had a really good loot before they went into the raid, I'm getting out. Like I'm good. I can go. I don't know your thoughts on it, Scruff, as far as like the flying stuff.
I actually really like the flying. I would like to see them explore more on it even. I've always been a big fan of games such as like Guns of Icarus, Sea of Thieves, even where you have a crew and you are all tasked to do something. I'd like to see. I think it would benefit the game if they made breaching just a little harder to do.
Right.
I think you're able to breach enemy ships way too easily, and that takes pretty much the flying and like actual airship like combat out of the game because you could just breach and go first person, shooter mode at that point. So I
Right.
like it though. I think it's a lot of fun when you actually do get in some good like gunfights.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing that I really enjoyed about the game too is that it's quick. So in Tarkov, a lot of times you'll just have like moments where the raid will be drawn out. But in this, it's like you get like 20 minutes, and that's I think 25 minutes, and that's the moment that you get in. That's that's flying, battling anybody that you want to fight out in the open space, getting into the raid, looting, get back to your dock. Which, by the way, the dock point that you load into. They don't tell you, like, you have to remember where you got to go. Like there's no map. They don't tell you where it's at. So you kind of have to remember where your access point is.
And you have a key card for that
Yeah.
dock specifically. You can't go to any other dock.
Right. And if you loot that to get back to your docking point, get out of the hangar and then get out that's of the raid. So that all has to happen within 25 minutes. So really you're like, get in, do my thing, get out. Right. And it's, if you do kill somebody that has a key card, you can take their key card. If you figure out where they docked at, you can take their ship and you can leave with their stuff. And there's crafting. It's really well done. Like I gave it shit. No, I didn't give it shit. I just kind of overlooked it and was just like, I don't know, man. It seems really janky.
It had a very hard start. Like their betas were pretty janky. And
like
I think
doo-doo,
it really turned off a lot of people. Which sadly I feel like it's in a much better state now, and it deserves more eyes than it has.
For sure.
But, yeah.
It's still in early access. I don't know if it's worth the. I think right now it's $35 if I'm not mistaken. I think is the price on it. It's maybe a little expensive. Maybe wait for it to go on sale or something. If you're
$30.
It's $30. $30 isn't bad. I would say 30 is not too bad. Like if you're into these kind of shooters or you want to get into Tarkov, and you need something to kind of as a stepping stone, this is really good for that.
A flat package deal. Like it's not like Tarkov where it has like tiers and whatever. You buy the game, you get everything in the game. You just have to unlock it. So
yeah, so it's nice. It works really, really well. There are some things I will say, like you can't bag and bag, And like you can put a bag in a bag, but you can't put items in a bag and then in a bag. So you are very much limited to the amount of
the
space.
bag out of the bag and then put the bag back in the bag and unfold the bag and put the bag in the bag.
But you can't put items in that bag and then fold.
Can you
the
also
bag,
play the dude dressed as a dude playing the other dude?
Yeah, actually, I've been killed more times by Scruffy than I have been by anybody else.
Yeah, Sin's just looking kind of sus. I thought I saw him vent once, so
oh my god, dude, I've been
I
killed
mean,
so many times by Scruffy.
I'd fucking shoot him too. You look
yeah,
sus all the time.
he's got a kind of shootable face.
Just remember that whenever you're asking for a gank bot lane when we play tonight, I just remember that. I'd be like, oh, you're gonna shoot me in the face? Enjoy your lane, asshole.
Please.
So,
I get a gank once in a blue moon from you anyway, so why not?
Oh, if you can't tell, we've also been playing a lot of League. But that's Marauders. You can get it on Steam. Go check it out. Good times. All right, Enigma, you've been playing Cult of the Lamb, correct?
Yeah, man. I picked it up. It was on sale over the weekend. I picked it up, man. It's really good. I slept on this, man, because I was watching it. I was thinking that I was gonna get it when it came out. I think in August, I believe is when it came out. It's been out for a few months at least.
By the way, we're watching one of the we got to give credit. This is the devs stream.
The dev stream, yeah. I was gonna try and get a stream up today, but didn't happen. Unfortunately, PT went long. So, but it's fun, dude. Like I am surprised that you haven't played it yet, given the fact that you love roguelikes and the top down slashers.
Yeah,
Chris and I have been playing it a little bit too.
It like Bill watched me play it for hours.
Watching you play it made me get it. So
I put 15 hours into it over a weekend.
It's giving me very
really good.
What turned me off to the game was I thought that it was a sim, because at first I was very turned. I was like, I was very turned on. Giggity. I was very.
Well, that's what turned me on to it, was that I was like, okay, it's kind of like a top down roguelike with a colony sim built into it, and that those are two genres that I thoroughly enjoy. But I thought that like the cutesy like art style was a little weird, but man, it's fucking brutal, dude. Like
it reminds me of like almost like Hades.
In some cases.
It's dark, man.
It reminds me of
reminds
Hades,
you of what?
Of Hades, like a little bit, like just not necessarily the art style, but like that 2D style approach to it. I mean, I picked it up. I own it. To me, it's a perfect Steam Deck game. I have not booted it up.
It is 100%. It's actually far better on a controller. I actually had to bring out my Xbox 360 controller because trying to play it on the keyboard and mouse was just not. It didn't feel right. Like it really didn't. This is one of the first games that I've been like, yeah, you have to have a controller for this because it feels so much better. It's got like you said, it's got like a colony sim built in with it. I think they do a really good job actually with the colony sim. Like there's a lot to unlock. It takes you quite a while to get a lot of things going, but once you start getting things going and you start getting like little colony guys like the dude that they're grabbing right now, you can start building up your colony to an extent of like, okay, so like in my gameplay, I had all of you guys. I had Sin and I had Scruffy. Scruffy, you're an asshole. You made me feed Bill poop.
And then I got sick and I got everybody else
got
sick.
him sick, and then it made a plague come out, and then you wanted me to do it again.
Nice, yeah. Dude, that reminds me a lot of what was that Clay game? Oxygen not included. That they would have shit like that.
Exactly. It's right down that same line. Sin, you wanted to eat poo as well. I don't know what it was about you guys eating poo.
Nobody even told him to eat.
Fucking weird. Yeah, legitimately, he just came to me. It was like, hey, I really want to eat poo. I was like, okay.
I eat shit all the time. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
So it's just got quirky things like that. You get occasional missions from your followers and everything like that. It can be anything from, again, pulling a practical joke on Bill and making him eat poo to like I had one where it was like, hey, Sinan got lost out in the Darkwood. You need to go and find him or else he's gonna die. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just let it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So it's got like little things like that that kind of make doing the daily. It breaks up the monotony of being like a colony sim and kind of forces you to go out and play the hack and slash, right? Which is I'm completely fine with it because the hack and slash is very, very good. Like the combos, the abilities that you can get. There's like 6 or 7 trees that you can unlock for different types of weapons. There's like necromantic weapons that
Oh,
when
there
you
you
kill
go.
something, it'll and don't get too far. The necromancy is shit. It's terrible.
You can't control a billion fucking skeletons. It's
You
always gonna be
can't, man.
trash to Enigma.
It literally it's got like a 10% chance of when you kill something, it summons a ghost, and the ghost goes woo and then dies. It's so
God.
it's got like necromantic weapons, it's got vampiric weapons, it's got weapons that put curses on people, it's got weapons that hit harder, it's got weapons that can attack faster, everything like that. So in each time you go into one of these instances, it's completely random. Like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Is there
So
a constant like progression, like you're leading to like an end, or like is it
yes,
just
yeah.
okay?
So that's what I was about to get at. So every time that you go into one of these things, you have I believe it's 4 or 5 um little like mini bosses that you have to kill
Mhm.
before you can kill the main boss of that area. And there's 5, I believe, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. No, yeah, 5. So there's 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle that you have to take care of, I believe. There's 5 like major bosses, and then I haven't gotten to the end of it, but I'm assuming that at the end of it you probably have to fight your main person or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I
Mhm.
don't quote me on that. I haven't gotten to it. Again, I'm 15 hours into it. I spent pretty much all 15 hours of that doing
Feeding poo to
colony
us.
sim shit.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is this
I didn't
procedurally
feed you
generated?
poo. You asked for it. Don't put that on me.
You poo washed me. It's like brainwashing.
There is brainwashing actually. That
Is
is
this
accurate.
procedurally generated, or is everybody getting the same kind of experience?
You get the same experience inside of the colony, right? So it's not procedurally generated inside the colony. Your colony members, like each of the people that you can recruit, is procedurally generated. They have like stats that you can get. Like some of them will. I have a Taxius, and the Taxius is one of my longest living guys because I gave him a little necklace that elongates his lifespan, right? But he's one of my like best worshipers. So the more worshipers that you have, the more things that you can unlock. So you get this thing. I can't remember what exactly they call it, but it's just like a faith. It's like whatever your people are worshiping you essentially, and you collect that, and then you can do sermons. You can use that to unlock abilities. You can
Spread
use
them.
that to unlock fleeces, which fleeces are like armors that give you different different modifiers. Like one of them's like you do more damage, but if you take damage, they do like 20% more damage, and then you lose a multiplier. So
Hmm.
very, very interesting stuff. Like there is a lot that you can do to it. 15 hours into it, and I'm again, like I said, I think I'm on the 3rd boss. I granted I spent a lot of that time doing the colony sim stuff because that's the stuff that I like. I'm sure that you could get this entire game done probably in 15 hours if you just focused solely on doing the hack and slash stuff and not
Right.
really focused a lot on the colony sim. Um, but I don't think you'll get the same experience if you don't. There's a lot of shit. Again, I would have never come across that with Scruffy wanting me to feed Bill shit, and then on top of that, Bill getting sick and spreading the plague throughout my entire village. Right? I would have never gotten to that if I had just focused entirely on the hack and slash.
Plus, the
Right?
colony sim aspect directly affects how effective you are out in
It
the
does.
hack and slash. So it's worth going into. And the difficulty modifiers for the game affect both the hack and slash aspect and your colony sim aspect.
They
So on the
do.
harder
Yeah.
difficulties, people are more likely to descend. They're going to be moodier. You're
And if your colony members descend, if they get pissed off at you, you can throw them in the stocks and re-educate them.
Re-educate
like
them.
you throw them in the prison, and then you're
Wow.
like, you're gonna fucking worship me whether you want to or not.
Oh, nice.
So it's really well done, and like what you were saying, Sin, it plays extremely well on the Steam Deck. It's a full 60 frames per second, no hitching, not a single issue with it so
It's
far.
beautiful too. Like
It's extremely sweet. And one thing that I will like 100% gush about, and I gushed about it the entire time I was fucking playing, the music is amazing.
Oh,
Like the
that's a big thing.
soundtrack is fucking amazing. I love it. I sat there. I caught myself on multiple occasions just sitting in my colony just listening to the music because it was so good.
Brit's been talking like the tarot card vendors. I'll just walk into the room and she'll be like, "No, look, no."
Yeah, it's got kind of the same thing that Faithless or whatever Bill was playing has, and
I mean, I
stuff
could-
like The Sims. Like they
let
have
me
their own little
s-
language.
Let's see if I can.
them in for that
uh,
long. But yeah, basically,
It's gonna have them talking, so I'm just.
It's it's
Mute
100%
it, yeah.
gonna have them talking. It's just yeah. Think of The Sims, and then that's essentially what it is. It's just like weird sounds and shit.
Animal
So-
Crossing does it too with our little.
Okay, yeah, Animal Crossing for sure. Yep.
Well, I'm
But
excited.
it's
I'm
really
excited
fun,
to
man.
play it. I don't know if
I'm honestly surprised that you hadn't played it yet. Like when I talked to you about it, and you were like, "No, I've never played it." I was
It's
like,
been
"Yeah."
something that I've had, like I said, I had interest in it, but I just never got around to it. And watching you play it completely,
It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
if
it was,
it's-
it
if
was
it's-
really
it's
something
on-
I wanted to get for Brit because this is like exactly up her alley. She loves
Yeah.
like Animal Crossing, but she also likes.
killing things.
Binding of
Yes.
Isaac.
It's
So-
it's
Brit-
fucking
Brit's a one of
it's
a kind
fucking hilarious,
gal.
man. It's hilarious. The stuff that you could do with like your colony. Like I went down to routes of like, okay, I'm gonna try and keep my colonists alive as much as I can. But like as you play the game, you have to indoctrinate, or you have to take on doctrines, right? So like some of the doctrines I took on was like, if I sacrifice older people, the older colonists, because the colonists will age and die over time, the longer that you have, right? So as long as I sacrificed my old colonists before they died, I got a huge fervor bonus, right? So like I think you died
Euthanization,
once because
boys.
I sacrificed you. I think Scruff, you died twice because you got old. I had to sacrifice you. I had to sacrifice Bill because he kept getting fucking sick. Sorry, Bill.
Well, on a diet of
I-
nothing but
man.
shit.
I
I don't
shouldn't apologize
know.
for that.
You got to stop the plague. I completely get it.
I was like, we gotta cut it out from the source.
Jesus Christ. But no, it's
But,
definitely on my radar.
you can customize completely on that. Like if you want to just be an asshole, you can just build out all your doctrines around like sacrificing your
Or
your
making them
colonists
fight
and-
to the death.
Yeah, or
each other.
there is a doctrine that you can do gladiatorial gladiatorial executions.
You know what
It's
this gives
fucking
me
hilarious.
also
I love
vibes
it,
of is well, now the name just Binding of Isaac. Like I get a little
Yeah,
it is.
it
Yep,
is.
it's
Heavily
huge bindings of Isaac inspiration. They the developers said it themselves. Like their inspiration was that. I believe that they said that their inspiration was one of their inspirations was the one that you mentioned earlier. Hades
Yeah.
was a huge inspiration off of it as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you like those games and you like colony sims as well, like I think this is right up your alley. And if it's still on sale, I think it's well worth the fucking money. Like, well, I would even buy it now that I've played it at full price.
I don't think it's on sale anymore. I don't is it on the is it on the Game Pass?
I don't think so.
We'll check. We'll check chat and let you know. But there you go, Cult of Lamb. I don't know if I'm gonna put it on stream, but I will. I'm definitely gonna play it for sure.
I personally want to stream. I will probably do some streams of
We
it
should
because
too,
it does
it
does have a Twitch interaction.
Yeah, the Twitch integration.
And-
I was gonna say is
And like
pretty
you,
cool.
the Twitch integration, you can have people like pay Twitch points to get a colonist and everything like that. I think
And
there's
they
also
can
some.
fully customize them too, which is the
Yeah.
coolest part. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
cool.
It
YouTube,
is
give us
not
fucking
on Game
integrations.
Pass because Sony bought it out to not be on Game Pass.
Fucking Sony, man.
Oh wow. Okay.
Why they bitch about fucking Call of Duty and then they fucking pull that shit? What the fuck?
So this is before the.
Sony,
I
man.
think this is actually like during the call. Yeah, this is directly related to the Call of Duty issue. Yeah, Microsoft
Stupid,
is
dude.
claiming that Sony paid for blocking rights to prevent it from going
It's-
on Game
It's
Pass.
so stupid, man. Like they pull that shit and they're like, "Oh, this is so unfair," and then they pull the same shit. I'm just like, "Come on, Sony,
Do better.
Jesus."
I mean,
Alright.
it's not on their streaming service either, but they just paid to keep it off of the game.
Because
That's
they
so
don't have a
scummy.
working
It's
streaming
like-
service.
Damn it! I should have made this the fucking last thing that we talked about because there's another great segue to talk about the next thing that's or the thing that's in our fucking news
Don't
article.
I
skip,
wasn't gonna
don't-
say because
don't
I got
skip
yelled at
it.
last time.
Oh my god! All right, well, Cult of the Lamb. There you go.
So good.
So let's drum roll, please. We're gonna talk about the big release here that's happened over
Oh, yeah.
big old Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
By the way, before we even get into this, if you guys are not playing this game with controller, you're playing it wrong.
You're not.
But purely because of the state of the controller on this game right now.
Wait, I love what just happened on stream right here because I just saw a video about it too. Their map design in this one specific alley has everybody confused. Where you run into this alley and it's just a dead end. There's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
Yep. First time I saw it, I
100%.
was like, "Oh, this is a great alley." And nope, there's nothing there.
Nope, that's it.
So yeah, let's talk about Call of Duty. Okay. So first here's what I'll say. I still am loving the game. I still am having fun with the game. It still is very much
Agree.
Modern Warfare, OG going back. I want to clear the air, and I'm gonna throw some fucking heat out there. Whether we get it on our on Twitter, if you want to throw it at me, you can throw it on wherever you want to throw it. I don't give a fuck. But here's the thing, guys. One, SBMM is not a bad thing. There is nothing wrong with SBMM. You should be playing in lobbies that you are built for and that you are playing at your level. It's not, the game is not supposed to cater to you being a streamer that wants to go in and crush pubs and get shit on all these people and then make yourself look like a gaming god. I want to put that to rest here and now.
Can I just throw out I'm built different.
Yeah, I'm built different. But one, I'm so sick and tired of hearing everybody bitch and moan about SBMM and then being Call of Duty games and how they shouldn't be in there. Guys, it's 2022. You should be playing with people that are at your skill level. So if you're getting shit on and your skill level, well, then you're not as good as what you think you are. You're probably getting carried. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I will go into Scruffy's lobbies when I'm playing with him, and I'll have a harder time than when I am if I go into one of my lobbies. I will dominate my lobbies, and Scruffy does have a higher kill count. We are getting put into higher lobbies with him, so I have a harder time. It just is what it is. But you don't hear me bitching about it.
I don't know, man. Like, because it adds to just like the experience too. Like, I don't want to be just stomping entire lobbies if I know that they're like dweebs and have like a low kill count. Like,
right.
I want to actually be challenged.
Is it too much to ask for both? Like, have like your public lobbies that are just like randomized matchmaking, and then have your other modes that
like your ranked do SBMM.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's always confused me is when a developer goes all in on one way or the other. Like Siege is the exact same way, where its casual mode is also SBMM'd on top of its ranked mode. And I can understand maybe if you're wanting to push the argument where, the casual mode is to prepare people for the ranked mode, so you want to get them the most authentic experience for the game possible.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I think there's an argument to be made where there can be a more casually based lobby system. Don't have any rank attached to it, don't have any rewards attached to it, but if somebody wants to just get off work, they don't have hours to put into a game, and they just want to go in and not have to try hard, they just want to roll the dice and see what they get paired up with, I feel like that should be an option.
Well, but the thing is that if you're that person, then you're going to be SBMM'd into lobbies with people that are the same level as you. So you're in games where you're not going to have the tryhards and stuff like that. Like,
yes, but no, because if you're being SBMM'd into those lobbies, you're, for your skill level, it's still going to be a sweat lobby just because you're not good at the game. They're not good at the game, but you're still on the same skill level. You're still going to have to try just as hard as if you were a top tier player into another top tier lobby.
By the way, for our listeners that don't know what SBMM is, skill-based matchmaking. Like that's what we're talking about, just in case you didn't know.
It matches you up based on where your skill level is.
But
I don't know if it's better for, because the whole reason I'm bringing it up is for user experience. I want to
it's all about choice.
Casual, for the casual player experience. For me personally, I'm not a shooter fan. Siege is the only shooter that I play. I am absolutely terrible at Call of Duty style shooters. So whenever I pick up a game,
does Siege have SBMM?
Yes, on all of its game modes.
I thought so. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But as far as Call of Duty goes, I can do tac shooters, no problem. As far as Call of Duty style shooters go, it's never clicked with me. So having SBMM on all the game modes, I'm still going to have to. It's still.
Well, the way that I look at it,
I don't know how to
I
word
look
it
at games
properly, but you guys get what I'm trying to say.
I look at games like Rainbow Six Siege and stuff like that as being like more tactical shooters. Like, granted, Rainbow Six Siege is kind of like it's skirting that line these days, but the like games like this is more of a arcadey
No, for
style
sure.
to
No,
me.
and I don't think anyone's arguing that this is not a this is a
No, it's still
bad.
very much an arcadey, twitchy shooter. Like,
Yeah.
the only change that this game has done is like with the movement, really, and it's gone
and
back
I am
to like
so fucking happy.
the old like Modern Warfare 3 movement system.
Yeah.
But it still has your sprint, your full sprint, your slide, your dolphin dive. So it still has movement. It's just not as, I don't know, twitchy as it was.
Well, so to go back to the SPMM real quick because I do want to talk about that as well, because that is another controversial thing that I'm really happy that they with one decision that they made with
A lot
this.
of
So
stuff stirring up about this game.
the SPM
My take on it, I guess, is I don't know if for the user experience for a casual player like myself, if having randomized lobbies would improve the user experience over having SBMM casual lobbies. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I personally don't think that it. I'm on the side of SPMM all the way across the board, because I think that one, you're gonna you're gonna get into lobbies where you're playing with people that are of your skill level. If you suck, you're gonna suck, but at the same time, so does everybody else. And eventually, you are going to become better. You're going to become you're just naturally going to progress at the game. And maybe you don't. Maybe that's just your skill level, and that's what you're capped at. But you're in a place where, like, in my mind, at SBMM, by doing that, you're filtered into where you need to be, right? Whereas if you don't, then what happens is the negative side of that comes out way more than the positive. Like, I just want to jump into a casual game, because you have people like all of these streamers, like Swag, like Doc, like Tim, like, all of these guys that are like, oh, I can go into a lobby and just fucking pub stomp the shit, and to a point where you're just like, this is not fun. This is not fun for anybody except for people that are trying to make a career out of making myself look like a god. And what's funny is that when you watch a lot of the streamers, and why I love things like this is because a lot of content creators make content based around them looking like, unbelievable, just cracked out, gods to
like
this
Shroud
game.
and
Well, I'll give Shroud his due. Like, Shroud deserves his due.
100%. He knows what he's doing. I'm just saying, Shroud is one of those people that people go to for high skill FPS.
But you go and you watch Warzone and stuff like that, and because of the lack of SPMM in a lot of these things, they've come into this and they're getting shit on, and they're just like, I don't understand. Like, this game sucks. It's like, no, you have been carried your entire content creation career with this stuff, and now you're being paired up with people that
coming to light.
Right. It's actually like, you're not as good as what you think you are. So I'm for SPMM personally.
I think too, with the release of Warzone 2 and the ranked mode, which I think is coming next year, it'll fledge out like the real tryhards of just these casual modes too. So of course, it'll still be SBMM and casual modes, but I don't think you'll have like the super sweats and like all your lobbies and whatnot either. Still,
they don't have ranked yet.
Rank's not in there. No.
Rank's not out yet. No.
Why?
Why would
they
ranks
ranked?
Because ranks,
ranks ever came out.
They've always done that, where it's a staggered release to do seasons and stuff like that. Like, it's just
that's
something
crazy to me. That seems like a terrible idea, but
I don't know.
So let's talk about the other hot topic, right? Which is the movement, which is one of the reasons why I fucking love this game, because it 100% got rid of all of the fucking slide canceling, bee hopping, fucking cracked out movement bullshit that all of these little.
I will say, not completely for everyone. It's not just like
you can't slide cancel
movement.
I still see a lot of the stupid fucking movements you could do before.
You can't slide cancel.
But it's not as hard, like, core as people like could abuse it in Warzone and whatever. It's not as crazy.
I mean, if you're seeing slide canceling, I'm impressed because
not like slide canceling. I'm just mean like the hopping and like the
hopping around corners and stuff like that. But go ahead.
I was gonna say there's new movements that people are finding too now with like the dolphin diving. So the people are finding kind of ways around it, and it's still not as cracked out as it was on Warzone. But
they're always going to. But what I love is that they put in this element that when you jump, when you dolphin dive, it slows down your ADS speed, which in this game ADS is everything. Like ADS is very much everything. But it slows it down, and also it really fucks your aim. Like even on auto aim, as still as fucking broken as that
Unless
is,
you're playing with the controller.
you know, it still pulls it away, but it's not. And so people, a lot of your content creators are just like, oh, what the fuck, man? Like this is the worst thing that they could have done. They needed to bring it back. Or what? Like, no, you don't need to be jumping around looking like you're cracked out, you know, on fucking meth, trying to you know, play a game. Like it should be based around having at least some sort of tactical awareness or gunplay mechanics to it. You know,
I think that's a little bit of the boomer in you talking though, because there is a skill difference with getting those mechanics like muscle memoried into your system. Like they appear bullshit because there is a skill setup that you need to do to be able to execute them.
I've never
I would say for quality of gaming and like fun factor, them being removed is a good thing, because I think that it increase like lower. I don't think there's a problem with lowering the skill floor of the game in that regard. I feel like them getting rid of those systems lowered the skill floor while still maintaining a decently high skill ceiling.
So, question, playing devil's advocate here. You say lowering the skill floor, but what you're seeing, what I'm seeing with a lot of these people is that it's not the skill floor has been lowered. It's that they're losing gunfights. So the skill wasn't about the gunplay and the gunfight. It was about I can move around in a way that I'm not taking that. I'm not saying that's not a skill. Like yes, being able to slide cancel, do all those kind of things. It's just like building in Fortnite, right? Like you know, being able to pull that kind of stuff in Fortnite is absolutely a skill that you learn. But when you see players that were these, you know, pros in Call of Duty because of you know, slide canceling and stuff like that, but they're losing gunfights and they're losing games because they're not good at gunfights. Like, so I guess my thing is, do you still see it as a skill? Like, I don't know if it's lowering the floor. I think it's just saying, hey, we're adjusting this to say
shifting the position to they need to build different skill sets. They were maybe using those mechanics as a crutch system before,
right?
And that's a perfectly acceptable way to do it. Like you were saying, it's still a skill that they had to develop to be able to win those gunfights in prior games. They're just going to need to alter their play style for this game to be as effective, or maybe they won't and they will suffer because of it. But
yeah, the biggest
I don't think they're for quality of life for the game. I think it's a good thing, because I do think a lot of people that don't maybe understand the mechanics that go behind those types of movement techs, just it's easy just to call it bullshit.
right.
I don't enjoy playing against this because, again, I'm a casual player when it comes to these games. I don't have the time to put in the muscle memory to learn the movement techs. So
I think the biggest
it's
thing
definitely lowering the skill floor in some aspects while raising it in others. And I think manual aiming and like how you control, because from what I understand, this game's jumped the recoil like significantly, even compared to the last release that they did. Like the recoil system is pretty invested. Like you have to invest yourself into learning the weapons and stuff a little bit more.
A little bit.
Prior
Yeah,
CODs.
there's yeah. Well, definitely to prior CODs, yes. Like prior CODs was all just about lowering the recoil as much as you possibly can and not learning their gun patterns. This has definitely got a spray pattern to certain guns that you do.
I think the biggest thing, honestly, is that COD from the start of 2019 was kind of straying away from like its core, like what COD was, and I mean, you could argue like that's just like they were moving into this new era of COD or anything like that. But I think, I mean, seeing it now with this game, that they're reverting back to like the older generations of COD. Like this is clearly what they wanted it to be. So they didn't.
Well, and it's its namesake.
I don't think they had the intentions of it being this like movement game, a game of like just all movement and everything like that. I think they would still in their core wanted it to be just, you know, a fast-paced shooter.
I think they entirely intended on it to be, especially with like the advanced warfare era where you had like the wall runs, the like jetpacks.
Well,
and
that was
stuff
all
like...
getting like futuristic and stuff. Of course,
Well,
I don't know. They're gonna have it with that, but
I mean, I don't think Bill's wrong. I think this did the same thing that Fortnite did, right? Like Fortnite came out, they did their thing, and then as it kind of progressed, they leaned into like, okay, cool, like we're gonna continue to lean into like this style of play. And then if you notice
Fortnite
now,
never reversed. Like they
did. They went no
always were
build.
adding new stuff.
They went no build. I'm talking about the building aspect. Like the building was the skill.
No build is. I mean, yeah, but that was never a thing to begin with. Like Fortnite was always building, and then giving it no build. I guess that's not going back. That's just entirely new thing.
What I'm saying is that they went back to a slower paced version of that game. They basically said we're not going to do. We're taking out a core element, which is and this which would be the movement. Like, and also too, it's a namesake. It's Modern Warfare 2, so they're going back. They're trying to go back to the days of modern of the original. Right, and I do too. Like, I'm happy that they are keeping to the namesake versus changing it. Now, here's what I'll say. We talked a lot about slide canceling. But if you're taking that out and you're going down to learning the recoil patterns to being an ADS game, holy fuck, man. If you talk about fucking something up, they completely just made it to where this is a controller-based game. And I refuse to play a controller. I will never play this game on controller. I will never play a shooter on controller. It just is what it is.
He doesn't play a Souls-like on controller.
I don't play.
He's a blasphemer.
But this game, they need to fix the aim assist. It is absolute. Like, if I was on controller, I would have won that gunfight.
It's
no doubt.
Aimbot.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not just talking like aim assist. I'm okay with aim assist, whatever. I have my issues with it and everything, like anybody else, I feel like, who doesn't play on a controller. But at the end of the day, like in this game, it is legit
atrocious
aimbot.
Yeah, like it will pull from so far. Like, all you have to do is just move down sights. And on top of that, they've got weapon balancing issue where, like, marksman rifles are one tap rifles, which is normal for the game, but it's also it's just when you combine all of those things, it makes it very, very difficult to play on certain maps and certain modes.
I say they're just going back to Modern Warfare 2. It was primarily a controller game whenever it first launched. Like, there was a PC player base, but PC gaming wasn't as popular as it was now.
Right, so, but that's where they need to adjust. I think those are things like you adjust for and say, and I'm not even saying like what I would like to have is just the ability to say, hey, I don't want to play with console players. Like, I don't want to play with console players because PlayStation
opt out of playing with PC players. There should be an option to opt out playing with console.
Because they have that ability.
Wait, console can opt out?
Yep. Console, PlayStation, and Xbox can opt out.
That's
it's specifically PlayStation. Only PlayStation users can opt out of.
I thought they updated with the last patch Xbox.
Did they update it so that Xbox?
I'm pretty sure.
I know whenever it launched, it was only PlayStation that had the opt-out ability.
I'm pretty sure that they updated to Xbox being allowed to do it as well.
If that's the case, and all of them are able to do it, that's fucking stupid. They should give PC players 100% give PC players the because that's just like having essentially aimbot. Like, having aim assist is just like having a built-in aimbot.
Is. Well, in this game specifically, it very much is.
It's just stupid because you're not giving that to PC players, so you're giving console players an unfair advantage.
PC players can pick up a controller too.
We can, but at the same time, like, for me,
why would you play on a controller on a PC?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that do it, but like
it's all based on preference.
Oh, I'm sure that they do.
Another thing. Like,
there was an entire fucking. Didn't you have a buddy that invited you to like something that was on the PC that they were forcing people to play on controllers and like that?
Yeah, it was a weird tournament or something. That it was PC tournament, but it was only controllers.
Yeah,
allowed.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are people that play it, but I think that if you're going to play on PC and you're going to give people the ability to play with people on console as well,
I think that's a whole other argument.
Give them the option.
Just because, I mean, it's all based on preference, whether you want to play on controller or mouse and keyboard. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Preference.
When it comes down to the ability to, if your preference is to not play with people that have a built-in aimbot, you should be able to say, okay, I don't want to play with those.
That I agree with. Yeah, 100%.
It's so. I have a problem there, right? The other thing that I have a problem with is the state that the game launched in. It launched way better than Battlefield, but that's not saying much. So the weapon tuning, that was a big deal, which I think is dope. I think it's really cool. They added a weapon tuning. Once you master your gun, you then get to tune it more to your playstyle and liking. Awesome. They removed it. They took it out. They added it was in there, and then they removed it because it was crashing the game. People with 5 attachments tuned over 5 different attachments, it crashed their game. automatic. So I don't know how that got past fucking playtest. There was also too, if you, and Scruffy found this out, if you pinged somebody as you were dying, they would their ping would stay on on your HUD. So you could see, you could wall hacks.
Wall hacks, baby.
Yeah. So they removed the pinging system. So you can't ping anymore. You know, there's graphical issues where like people are on every map. Like if you're, I think if you have a 4090, it's guaranteed to do this. The entire map will glitch out. Now the new drivers did come out today. I don't know if that's fixed. But also too, if you updated to the NVIDIA Game Ready drivers for Modern Warfare 2, your game crashed. You had to roll it back. Like, how does a game come out in that? Like, how do those things get past?
And
we know
it's the saddest thing too, because like this was still a better launch than many other
Activision
titles.
Yeah, it's Activision.
Yeah.
Or Activision, yeah.
I was like, I got one word for you, man. Activision.
Yeah,
100%.
It's sad that like we're allowing this in the age of like AAA titles coming out in this state. Like
also the UI is fucking atrocious.
Terrible. You know what actually I found out about the UI? You know, they hired a Hulu worker to do the UI for this game. I don't know whose idea that was. If you take somebody who specializes in making UIs for a TV streaming service and try to have them do it for your game,
I mean,
it's an endless right scroll.
That's not actually that true. Like again, we talked about UI UX earlier. Well, just let me explain it. We talked about UI UX earlier. UI UX is not based off of what you're building the platform for. UI UX design is the same exact design no matter where you're building it for. Right. So like having a UI UX designer build for a streaming platform and then move to a gaming platform, there's no in between. There's no difference. They share the same principles
in this.
I'm sure you can. I'm not saying he was a good UI UX designer.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that UX UI design principle does not change all that much.
It's just sad because it's an endless right scroll of trying to navigate anything in this game.
I don't doubt it
through every like tab of this game. It's bad.
Also too, because the UI interface, it crashes the game. If this I think has also been partially patched, but like loading into a game, you will freeze and you're just kind of rolling the dice as to whether or not you're going to get in because it's loading so much UI bullshit that it's too much. And then on top of that, if you're looking at your camos, good luck trying to look at your camos with scrolling, because you literally it makes sense now that you're saying for a television thing, because it's built for one of these. It's built for a remote that I can kind of left click on or right click on, because I can't scroll my mouse wheel. Or it's built for a controller. Like it's built so I can just hold it and guide left, guide right. Like I don't know. It's fucking insane that this was able to get passed through and that they allowed this to kind of go through. Also on top of that, if you try to play with more than 4 people or 3 people, you're most likely going to crash. The game's going to crash out. So in a game where it's built around parties of 6, you're going to crash out. That may have been fixed. But we have not played with a group of 4 again, because we had so many issues with trying to do a group.
We haven't even touched base on the map situation.
Oh yeah, go.
Oh man.
Some of them.
So we had there was supposed to be 11 maps at launch. Already -1 at launch because it was taken out of the game. It was a map that we played in beta called something museum. I don't remember where it was located. It was a museum located somewhere, and pretty much it was taken out of the game because this museum apparently Activision didn't buy the rights, or just even like, I don't know, whatever you have to do to make a map based on the location. They didn't buy that rights, so it was taken out of the game until I don't know, probably forever. And now it's coming out that the hotel map that is still in the game is also looking at having that same issue, and also a race map. There's 3 maps now that are all jumping on this train of like, we don't want our map represented like this in this game. So they're all trying to get these maps taken out. I don't know, man. I just don't see a world where Activision doesn't actually like buy these rights.
There's some stuff that actually has recently come out today over this stuff. Yes. So Activision did pay the rights to own to put the maps inside the game. The places, the hotel and the museum are not happy with the design of those maps and that the way that they are being used. Activision is arguing back saying you guys had final approval on the level design when we went through and mocked it, so you don't have an argument there. And what did you think it was going to be when you talked about a Call of Duty game?
Yeah.
So
stupid.
There's two camps here basically saying that either A, Activision is lying, which they have a propensity to do, or B, that the company, these places are not happy with the cut that they got and they saw the success of the game and they're wanting more money. I don't know what the actual honest one is, but you're gonna hear us talk more about this game as we continue to go on, because we are creeping up into needing to get the news section done. Thank you, Bill, for doing that. But what I'll say, the last thing that I'll say about Call of Duty, this is that through all of the pains, if you are a fan of the old school Modern Warfares, like OOG, not 2019, but OOG version of it, it's actually, I'm enjoying it. It brings me back to those days. They tweak some stuff, get the AI, get the aimbot stuff fixed, or give me filter options where I don't have to play with those players. Then I think it's going to be even better. So, but yeah, so that's the games we've been playing. We are moving on to the next section, which is the news section of our show. So we talked a little bit about Sony and Cult of the Lamb and buying out stuff, and they can't keep it on Game Pass. Is Cult of the Lamb at least on PlayStation Plus? Can you play Cult of the Lamb on PlayStation Plus?
It's not on any of the sub services.
Not any of them at all. Okay. Well, Sony, actually, Billy, this is your news article, so kind of give us the rundown here. They are taking a little bit of a loss, huh?
Not really. So, Sony revamped their PlayStation Plus stuff. It's like a 3-tiered system that has different it's 3 different subscription models, basically, depending on what you want out of PlayStation games. It's kind of like a competitor to Game Pass, but not really. It's weird. The upper tiers give you access to like the PS3 and like classic games. The lower tiers give you access to just like the PS4 games, and it's a very odd selection of games, but they reworked it so that it's a 3-tier system. And since that rework, the PlayStation Plus subscription model has went down about 2 million subscribers overall from when it was just a singular PlayStation Plus model to where it is now with the 3-tier.
Do you see them reverting?
That's 2 million subscribers among all those tiers.
Do you see them reverting back to the old model?
Because they are actually up in revenue because of the new subscription model.
So they lost 2 million, but I guess the other people subscribe to a higher tier.
Yep. So they lost 2 million users, but the ones that they do have are putting into the higher tiers, and it's actually increased their revenue shares on that sub model. So they are not seeing it as a success, but it's not cutting into their bottom line whatsoever.
I still wonder.
Hopefully, with the money being thrown in with that, they're going to continue to add more games to the sub-service, incentivize it a little more so that more people might join into it.
I still wonder if they're gonna not necessarily. I don't know if you want to call it reverting, but if they're gonna kind of, if people are they're getting less subscribers, but they're going to the higher tier service. If they're just gonna look at it and go, what's the point of the lower tier? Like at a certain point, I wonder if they're gonna look at it and just go, we're gonna lose X amount of users, but if we get 20% of those users to just go to the higher tier and get rid of this tier, then I mean they eventually are going to go back. Like essentially, it's going back to the old method. But I just wonder if that's not something that they look at, because
I think it would be in their best interest to consolidate the tiers. I think the 3-tier system is really dumb, but
it's very very unnecessary in my opinion. Like when it comes to like their streaming services for games, when it comes down to like Xbox Game Pass, you have Xbox Game Pass, and then if you want to, because you have an Xbox, you have the Xbox Game Pass Plus.
We have Ultimate.
Right.
That gives you everything. They're the ultimate. That gives you everything. It gives you across
to
all.
To put the numbers in like 100% accurate perspective, we're talking about going from 47 million subs to 45 million subs. So it's,
Yeah, so it's not
in
that
the
much of a
grand scheme
loss.
of things, it's only like a 3 or 4% drop of as far as user base goes. But they've made 6 billion more dollars than what they did on the prior model. So
Well, there you go. So they've changed their, I mean, that's normal. I'm sure that they accounted for losing a certain amount of subscribers, but if you're making more money, you still
yeah,
can't be upset
it's
about
it's the whale mindset that that there's people out there that will buy into the upper tiers if you make the
Oh, of
option
course.
available.
There's
So,
there's a reason why the options are made available is because they know that those people will purchase into it.
yeah. So
it.
it's a weird place for Sony to be in, but I don't think they're hurting too bad from it, and hopefully it improves the model moving forward.
No, I think the biggest thing that's hurting Sony in the way of, if we're looking at pass for pass, subscription model for subscription model, is just the simplicity of it, right? Like the simplicity of, I think you look at Game Pass and what it is, and then you look at PlayStation Plus and what it is. Both great services, both offer a lot of different things, but I go and I can get Game Pass, I get all this shit, and then I kind of go to look at the Sony one, and I'm like, which one of these fucking things do I want or need? I think easier is definitely a better route to go when it comes to this stuff. And also, I mean, just the messaging. I mean, fuck, Xbox owns that messaging right now. Like they just dominate the shit out of it when it comes to their Game Pass. So yeah. I'm reading messages that are being sent to me in Discord messages chat. So,
You're
just a ghost.
He's just kind of transparent,
Just a ghost.
I don't know. It's his poo
Spooky
ghost.
season.
It's his
It's
poo ghost
so
from the Cult of the Lamb.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why.
No, it's
I'll
fine.
have to-
What's the next topic?
So we also talked about Facebook. And VR. So this actually has Sony stuff into it as well that I kind of want to talk about because they announced their they announced it, and then actually the dates and price got leaked. But Meta VR, I know Bill, this is another one of your news articles. So dive us in.
Your transition now.
Yeah.
About Facebook. We're on the Facebook now.
Yeah, we're on Facebook.
Just they are having a real bad time. Zuckerberg and the stockholders are continuing to have a falling out. I believe Facebook stock is down 73% last I checked through the year, Meta stock. And I just kind of wanted to bring it up because one of the biggest producers of affordable virtual reality these days is Meta with the Oculus system. I wanted y'all's take on how you think this could potentially affect VR moving forward. If you think there's a strong enough case or basis in other companies with VR that if Meta were to completely tank, that we would still have affordable competitors going forward.
The big thing about, so I'm wondering how much of this is coming off of the fact that they announced the Quest Pro, and the Quest Pro was not what people thought it was going to be. The Quest Pro, we all assumed that it was going to be the Quest 3, which was the bigger version, and the Quest Pro, they went in a completely different direction and are really hard pushing this as like, oh, this is like a huge innovation, which it's a great innovation in VR technology, but it's for businesses. It's a $1,400 base equipment, $2,000 if you go for one of their up version models of this, and it is all centered around businesses. So I think you're like, yes, that is a subsect of VR and using that. So like not having anything in, really technology for Meta for a year since the Quest 2, and then we get this it's kind of like I don't know. I see why they're down. Like it's just like and I think it's also a part of Meta, of Facebook bleeding Quest in this idea that we have to push this idea of the metaverse, right? The metaverse. And I really think that that's really gonna tank. If they don't get that mindset changed quickly, it's gonna tank the company.
It's already doing it. We're already
Yeah.
seeing it. Like that's the biggest thing is like I think that they lost what they were trying to go for when it came down to the bare bones of why they originally brought out the Quest was to give people an affordable way of getting into VR, right? At least, I mean, that's what I would assume they brought it out to.
That's
I don't
what
know
I
if that's
always thought it
exactly.
was too.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's exactly why they brought it out, but that's what I would assume that was why they brought it out. Because like if you look at the Steam charts with how many or with the I think they did like a breakdown at one point at the start of this year as to like the amount of people playing VR and what headsets they were playing on. It was something like it was somewhere in the range of like 92% of all people playing fucking VR were on the Quest
Oh yeah.
or a Quest 2. It
I
was
mean,
crazy.
it's a phenomenal price. I mean, for the price and the technology that you got, it's phenomenal. And to be completely wireless, and they really pushed that forefront.
How much
So-
is the
so
the
them-
Quest Pro?
It's like
it's for the Quest Pro is
Isn't it like
yeah.
ridiculous?
No, that's
I
what I
thought
just
it was
said.
like
It's-
$500. Yeah.
no.
Oh, no, I thought it was a lot more than that.
No. You're talking about the new one they just launched?
The new one they just dropped, yeah.
1,500 for the base model.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Two
Yeah,
two
it's a
grand
lot.
for the big boy model.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I thought.
it's insane. Like, and again, the stuff that it does is really great, but it's your core audience is not that. Like, and I don't, like, it's not to say that, like, you've got the Valve index, right?
Index.
Which is also astronomically
but the
expensive.
Yeah, as I was about to say, the problem with it is that like, and I said this from the start when we started talking or when we started moving into the VR space where people were starting to make VR more mainstream, right? The problem with VR at that point was that like you had two headsets and both of them were not within a particular range of price that that the normal layman's person could get, right?
Mhm.
You had the VR, the Valve Index that I think at that point was like $900. It was
And the
almost
Oculus, right?
$1,000. Yeah, and then you had the Oculus,
Yeah.
which or yeah, the Index and the Oculus, I think is what it was.
It was
And then
like
you had
a
another
few.
one. I can't remember what the other one was, but there was another one that was like ungodly,
Was the
unfathomable. It was like
HTC
$1,600.
Vive? The Vive.
Yeah. It was just ridiculously priced. So them coming out with like a $399 headset that was standalone that could also play Steam Deck stuff or could also play Steam VR stuff, but also had its own video games and everything like that, right? Where you could just play it straight from that wirelessly. It was a game changer, and them kind of straying away from that, I think, is going to really hurt them in the long run. Because what'll happen is, and we've already started seeing it. There's going to be other companies. I know that I think there's a Chinese or a Japanese company that's bringing out a new headset that's supposed to be like $199 or something like that. It's supposed to rival the fucking the
And
Quest, and it's
supposed to be
lighter.
like everything
It's
else.
it's
that
lighter.
that the
It
other
has
ones
a
do.
longer
Yeah.
battery life, and it's HD. It's not the rounded lenses. It's just a flat screen or whatever it is. The HD the full HD or OLED or whatever screens. I can't remember what they call it.
For
But
VR,
it's
don't
just
you
a
want the
flat
rounded
screen.
lenses though? Or
Not
no?
not necessarily.
I
no.
don't. I've never personally tried any VR stuff, so I don't.
There's two different types that you can get. You can get the rounded lenses, which they do well. The problem with the rounded lenses is if you get a scratch on them, you're fucked essentially. And they also are extremely, extremely, extremely sensitive to light. So like if you just accidentally leave your headset sitting there, looking at a window or whatever, and there's a little bit of sunlight peeking into that, you can just completely destroy your headset at that point. So going down the route of the flat screens, while I don't know if you get as good quality. Well, no, I think you get better quality on the flat screens. It's two different sets. It's two different subsets, right? You can go with, and it's I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Again, they're straying very much from their core. And for VR to take off, it's got to be affordable. It's got to be and it's got to be accessible, like to everybody.
Yeah.
We can't keep going down these routes of like it's fine to have like these super ultra high end units if that's what you want, or whatever. But you need to have like another unit. Like they came out and they're like, oh no, the Quest 3 is coming next year, and it's like, dude, you should you said nothing about that
Should've
until
led with that.
right. Like you should have.
That's the biggest thing is like it's almost false advertising because they really pushed for this to be like the next Quest coming out, and they didn't ever really push that being like Well, it's not really pushed towards gamers. It's pushed towards this, you know.
Oh,
So
they
everybody, like including myself, was excited. I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I should sell my old Quest and get the new one because it's smaller." I didn't know that until Sin told me the other night that this is not really meant for gaming. It's
nope.
more meant for like
It is
business and
business.
stuff. Because I would have went out and bought it and been like, "What the fuck? Why can't I play video games?"
Yeah, if you didn't watch I watched their release or their whatever that they had, their stand-up keynote bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was just like business, business, business. But you can you could be in the business place and then all of a sudden play basketball together. And it's like, what?
Right,
Who
yeah.
the fuck? No, what? No, go away. Like, okay. Like, no.
Oh, dunk on
you know,
Jenny. Let's go.
that's what it is. That's the fucking video. Legitimately, I think that line is in the video. Like
No.
it's crazy. And like, the technology that they added in it is really dope with like this idea of like, it is facial recognition. You can which is great. It's all steps forward that we need in VR.
I like the fact that it's got a full AR as well.
Yeah,
Like a
augmented reality is dope.
with full color, not the pass through like the current Quest does, where it's black and white. I fucking can't stand that. I wish that they would update it to where you could do fucking color.
Let's be real here, though. Do we really want Facebook having any more like personal info on us? Like,
very true.
I do not trust Facebook with facial recognition whatsoever. They can't keep leaks away. They sell shit to the governments. Like, that sketches me out more than the price points of the headset.
That was one of the biggest issues that I had with buying the Quest, was just the fact that I knew that I was going to have to tie it to a fucking Facebook account, and the fact that they made it so that you couldn't make a specific Facebook account. If they found out that you made a fake Facebook account, they
block
banned you.
Yep. And your headset's useless at that point.
Yeah.
So
little segue about VR. The price point of the PS VR2 got leaked.
Yeah.
Or it got announced. It's going to be $550. Do you think
that's hard, man?
It is hard, but considering that the next competitor that we've seen is in the thousands.
And
again, with all of the technology that Sony has advertised with the PSVR 2, yes, it's still wired, but all of the tech that they've put into it, it seems like a reasonable price point.
You and I talked about this. I don't know if it was last night or the other night.
It was a few nights ago. Podcasts
well,
ago.
The biggest issue that I have with the PlayStation VR is the fact that yes, they have some great like technology inside of it, but they don't have the games. They have like a category, what's called a collection of like 20 games on the original PlayStation. If I remember correctly.
You can use, but with this, Steam has, which thank God to Gabe Newell and Steam and Valve and all them, but you can use a PlayStation VR in Steam. So you can you can essentially buy this.
That actually is a lot better. Yeah.
You can essentially buy this as your Quest 3 and get the upgrades that you would not have on the Quest 2 and still be able to use it on Steam.
Leave it to Gabe Newell. Always a great man.
So you can just hardwire your PSVR 2
yeah,
into
Steam recognizes it as just a regular hardware device. I don't know, again, just like with the Quest, like there are functions that the Steam VR system, it doesn't talk super well. It talks okay, but like there are some kinks in it. I don't know what kind of kinks would be in this, but I do know that you can 100% use a PC VR or PlayStation VR headset on Steam. So
that's cool.
Interesting.
If that's the case, I still think that 500 and what did you say, 599,
540,
550. I still think that 550 is a little out there. That's essentially two fucking PlayStation 3s or PlayStation 4s, right?
It's more than a PS5, so
yeah.
It's. I mean, I think if you're looking at it from someone that's non-PC related and trying to jump into this world, that's a big pill to swallow. All right, you're talking that's $1,000 to try to get into the system. And,
again, you can literally buy a new system. You could buy a fucking computer to run most of those games.
It's so, but I think as a standalone device, which I really wish Sony kind of would have leaned into. I think if Sony cut that cord and said, "Hey, this is a
standalone device."
No,
it's wired.
Okay.
It's wired.
That's
But like
if
they were to say, "Hey, this is a standalone device. If you don't even own a PlayStation, you can still play our PlayStation games."
That'd be wild.
Then
that
would be a fucking you're talking about that's huge. Like 550, that's great. You know what I mean?
That was what was so huge about the Quest, was that it had its own games and it could play standalone completely. Like you didn't have to tie it to a computer. But if you wanted to, it had wireless capabilities to it, so you didn't have to do a wire. So,
I don't know, but at 550, I don't think it's necessarily bad. Again, if with the ability
it's
to
not
be able
terrible.
to hook in,
I still think it's a little much though, but
I mean, I guarantee you that Quest 3 ain't going to be much cheaper, bud. I'm telling you right now,
don't doubt it, yeah.
I believe it'll be that.
don't
But be
doubt it,
careful no matter what you're doing. Bill, here's a great, I'm trying to segue. I'm trying to be that segue boss for you. Be careful with what you're plugging any of these headsets into if you own a 4090, because there's a really good chance that you're going to catch fire to your entire fucking house. Just want to put that out there.
Cool. Great.
So
Very nice.
anybody that purchased 4090s, just be on the mindset here that it's not all 4090s. It is not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it
it's-
specific?
it's-
is it like
Well, so
VGA or
Nvidia,
something?
there's no. It's 4090s, right? It is the power unit, like the cable that hooks into from the PCU or PSU to the actual graphics card itself, are not able to handle the voltage that's going through it, and basically are frying the systems and catching fire. This is very common. The Note had this issue where it wasn't proper cabling, and lithium batteries were exploding. This is not something that's new. What's crazy though is that as more and more of this is coming out, Nvidia knew this was an issue and didn't say anything to stop it. So because of that, like there's a potential that if that is found out to be the case, that's a lawsuit that is going to happen against Nvidia. On top of that, they also got in a bunch of shit because they were going to do this 4080, then 4080 Ti, and all of this kind of stuff, and then it halted everything. Like everything has been halted. Like even at Corsair, like our power like cords are like, we're stopped. We're like, nope, we're not sending any kind of power adapter out for this until this is fixed. So 4090s are they're in a rough spot. Like if you want,
flammable.
You got
brick.
one, didn't you?
nope, never. I was gonna buy one, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna hold off. So 4090s can catch fire. So maybe not buy a 4090 right now.
Wait for a little while. Yeah, I would imagine.
Plus
Just
AMD.
simply
I mean,
voice
I
that
tell-
never buy a Gen 1
Yeah,
graphics card.
that's what I was about to say. I tell everybody that's looking for a new graphics card to never buy the first generation in the first place, because it's just they go through so much bullshit in their R&D and their quality control that you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to that.
Some chocolates.
Yep. So moving on to that, as far as just kind of other news and things coming out and getting clarified, not clarified, and who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. We've been talking about Bayonetta 3. We've been talking about this voice actor drama bullshit between, why am I blinking on the name of the
Platinum names.
Platinum
Games.
Platinum, between Platinum and the voice actor for the Bayonetta character. So it just continues to go like basically Platinum is saying, no, we offered you more money than this. She's saying at first, no, we didn't. Now she's saying that there was more money, but at the same time, like Platinum is saying that, well, we offered you a fair amount. She's saying we didn't. Like, I don't know if you guys want to add
Back and forth.
onto this.
So
like
the biggest point of contention that she was initially bringing up in her first like Twitter outings when she was trying to get the game boycotted by the fan base was that Platinum only offered her $4,000 for her contract with the character. Platinum then came out and said, no, we were in negotiations completely until negotiations dissolved. They had about a 8-month hiatus where they didn't talk after negotiations had dissolved. And then they offered her a $4,000 contract to do limited voice lines for the character, not like voice her completely, but just have like specific like flashback style voice lines for the character re-recorded for the game. So that was where the $4,000 sum came from, but it was only after communications and deal making had dissolved from her being the character throughout the whole game, and it was only for select scenes.
Also, too, wasn't it kind of? It was later clarified because when the tweets came out and stuff came out that it was the flat 4,000. That it was then clarified it was per session, not just a flat fee. That it would have ended up being, I think, 3 total sessions and ending up. Some people are saying 12,000, other people are saying 15,000, but basically it was a
Right.
per session thing, and then ended up saying that it would have been that amount for 5 sessions. Like I just, to me, it's just like this whole like, if you want to clear all this up, whether it's platinum or her, just somebody throw out the fucking contract and be like, here's the damn contract. Like here it is in writing showing this is what you were going to be paid if you signed it. I mean, you agreed to this. Like whether or not you can, I don't know. Like I'm not faulting her. I'm not faulting platinum, but like I do think that like
I think it's dangerous. I think it's a dangerous precedent to set, specifically in her, I guess in Platinum's defense, because if all of this does come through and it shows that she was calling for this boycott in bad faith and not giving full details and stuff, which it continues to lean that direction, it's going to make it extremely hard for voice actors moving forward to be able to properly argue for what they feel that their voice is worth in these projects. It's going to tarnish people being
don't think
able
so.
to. You don't think so? You don't
No,
think it's gonna
I
make
don't
it
think so.
difficult
This
for
is gonna
people to
it's a bad
negotiate?
mark on the voice actor, you know, or whatever you want to call it, the voice actor job in general. But granted that it's just one person of many, right? And the thing that makes me laugh about this chick is like I get where she's coming from with it when she says that like, oh well, I made Bayonetta. But it's when I hear people say that kind of shit when they're a voice actor, I'm like, you're one small part of a large entity, right? Your voice was the voice of Bayonetta, but without the rest of the fucking development of that game, your voice would have just been that, a voice.
Well,
She's getting way too high on herself, in my opinion, and I think that when it comes down to it, she's just getting greedy at this point. I think.
Well, I
She's
think
getting a little bit too high on her high horse.
I don't know if she's getting greedy. I mean okay, yes, I agree that she might be asking too much in this situation, but at the same time, like I think that this is where negotiating comes into play. Where like a
Yeah.
company, like look, anybody that sits down at the table needs to understand a company is going to do what's best for the company and the bottom dollar, right? You as a person are going to try to get what's best for you. Like that is it. If you can't come to terms, then you throw your hands up and walk away. That's where I think the unprofessionalism side of this necessarily comes to light, where it's like, okay, going and saying that, I deserve more money. Absolutely. Do it in a boardroom setting, do it in a negotiating setting versus going to Twitter after the fact, after everything is said and done, after everything has been built, and then saying, oh, right before the game is about to come out, to go, oh, hey, by the way, this, you know what I mean? Like it's to me, it's
a
like
bad look.
It's a terrible look.
And there are people that, and I also think too, like she's going after the voice act, or I don't want to say she. There are things that are going after the current voice act, the person that took her role, and that person's like, hey man, I'm just doing a job. Like I accepted whatever terms were in front of me, and it's fine for me. So like, I don't know.
But that's what I'm trying to say is like when it comes down to it, to come out and say that you made that character what it is. Granted, yes, I agree with you that your voice was a vital part in that, but without the development and without the art team and everything like that and the story team behind Bayonetta, her voice would have just been that, her voice, essentially. Right? Like there's nothing that you can say or do that people can't replace, essentially. I mean, we see it with the Witcher shit going on right now, right? With Henry Cavill not wanting to or leaving playing Geralt, right? And they're replacing him, right? You can be replaced at any given time. Granted, it's probably not going to be as good. I'm not going to lie. It probably won't be as good, but it will be there, right?
Yeah. Well, also too, the funny thing about the Henry Cavill thing is that there's a petition being signed to be like, bring him back, and it's like, you guys do know that he was you informed me that he was the one that
left.
fucking left.
It has nothing to do with like them.
Bring his ass back.
No, we don't want to work with you anymore. It's Henry Cavill going, I have no time. I have no more time to do this.
I don't want to derail too much, but there was somebody who put what's that one actor's name? Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Right? In like they photoshopped him in as Geralt, and he looks good. Like
he look good.
He should have been it.
Well, you can go back and forth with that. There's a lot of actors that I think could have fit.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with Liam.
I think that Henry Cavill was a you guys are probably gonna say I don't think he was a very good choice for Geralt in the first
Yeah,
place.
but he's passionate about the series.
he is
and that's-
passionate about the series,
and that's
and
why he's leaving.
His
Yeah.
well, that's what I was about to say. His passion for the series is what made me be like, okay, he actually did a really good job because he portrayed it to a T as to what the fucking series was about, right? Rather than
Right.
just being like his own spin-off of it. He made sure that he went into that whole thing and was like, I'm gonna make it as close to Geralt as I can get.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the Bandana news. I think final thoughts on this would be a lot of people go into making a game. It's not just one person. So when you say to boycott the game, just understand that you're kind of hurting other people.
If anyone has any questions, just as a real quick, if you guys have any questions about what we've covered tonight, get them into the chats, whatever chat you're in, and we'll answer.
Yep.
Sir.
So we talked about Unreal Engine 5 stuff. And I'm going to show this because I think it deserves to be shown. Final Mouse, if you're unfamiliar with them,
cool, man.
they make mice, and now apparently prototyping this, which is if you're not in the live streams, you should be, but it is a keyboard with a screen, and it's interactive, so you can change this to whatever you want. Here's my question, and I'm actually gonna step away and not because of my own personal where I work. I'm just gonna make sure I kind of keep this. You guys, is this needed? Is this something that you guys see as cool or not cool? Would you be
next level RGB in my opinion?
Yeah,
I don't have that much RGB to begin with.
It's just cool, but
I like it. Yeah,
it's not needed.
I think it's a step in a direction that we've probably been needing to take for a while with the RGB and customization of like keyboards and shit. But like, do you need RGB on your keyboard to begin with? Like, no, nobody needs that much of RGB. Do you want it? Yeah, sure.
I would want this, but I can't imagine this being cheap.
Oh hell no!
I mean, I wouldn't think that
it.
it was. I wouldn't think it would be that expensive.
Dude,
Having an
Final
LCD
Mouse
screen
is
on
expensive.
something like that is
already
not
a pretty pricey brand.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, whether Final Mouse upscales it an ungodly amount, that's one thing. But like putting an LCD screen, you can get an LCD screen for like $5, my guy. Like it's
Sure.
not that fucking expensive.
But I'm not gonna go home manufacture my own, keyboard.
No, I'm not saying you are, but what I am saying is that like just because it has a fucking screen on it doesn't mean it's like $300.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe this will sprout competitors to come out with cheaper variations of it. So who knows? But
by the way, thank you to Jake Lucky for this tweet. This is what we're showing. All I'm saying is that the amount of corn that will be on these screens and inappropriate things.
Pornhub, anime.
Yeah.
Anime waifus. Scruffy will probably have his fucking whatever JoJo or whatever you got on your computer. I forget what Yu Yu Hakusho or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He'll probably have that shit on there.
So that's there. Cool. It's possibly something that else is going to happen on UE5.
I think it's an interesting way of going. Like I like the idea.
New, yeah.
I would honestly, I don't know how you would do it because touchscreens, obviously, if you put your fingers down on it, it's gonna fucking interact. But like, I think a touchscreen computer or like a touchscreen keyboard would be.
You feed the koi fish. You're touching it, it's dropping food on the koi fish.
They have interesting keyboards already out with like touchscreen features.
Yeah.
They don't work very well though.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it would work. We would have to go forward in technology just a little bit more. But like moving forward, moving closer into like the Star Trek days where they had the touch screens that popped up. I think that's where we need to go. Would they have ones that are like projectors?
The Tony
it's
Stark.
like a projector and shit, but they don't work very well at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving right along, EA, speaking of Tony Stark, EA is making 3 standalone Marvel games, 2 of which will be Iron Man based, open world games.
Isn't that supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive too? I thought I heard. Or
the Wolverine game is a PlayStation exclusive. This was not. This is it's Unreal Engine 5. It is standalone Marvel games, single player Marvel games, by the way. They will not be multiplayer. You can pick up Vermintide 2
transactions.
for free. Don't even start. Don't. No. Vermintide 2 you can pick up for free right now for permanent use via Steam. Correct? Is it? That's where it's at. Is it Steam?
Yeah.
Still on there?
Right now, I think it's like over the next week. They're celebrating their like whatever number anniversary for Vermintide, so you can go and pick that up for free. Really good deal. Vermintide's amazing.
Right off and on the back of Darktide coming out later this month.
Darktide out later this month. Yep.
Dark Souls 2 multiplayer is back online after how long, Bill? How long has it been gone?
That was for like 260 days.
There you go, 260 days.
Getting up to a year. Wow.
So we got some good news and we got some bad news with that. The Dark Souls 2 servers are online, so now Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 are both online. Dark Souls 1 remaster is still AFK. We don't know when that's going to be coming back online. What we do know is that the original Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition for Steam, they have cut support for it completely.
Yeah,
They're not going to be bringing those servers back online. So if you had the original Steam version of Dark Souls, you will no longer have access to co-op or PvP unless you pick up the remaster version. Which,
That's kind of fucked up.
well, it is, but I got to thinking about it. Whenever the remaster was coming out, they did offer it for free to people that owned the Prepare to Die edition, because they were going to be pulling the Prepare to Die edition off of the storefront when remaster came out anyway. So they had already kind of started doing this. They're just now officially killing that player base. So there's plenty of people that prepare to Die edition because it was modded better, and it was in some instances a better DS1 experience. But c'est la vie, I guess. It's shitty. I don't like people being limited in their options, so it's definitely not a good thing. But
yeah,
remaster will be back eventually. They did say that they are still going to be bringing Dark Souls remaster online eventually. Just don't know when.
So. Is this? Excuse me. Is this still stemming from that breach that they had? Okay.
Yep. From before
that's crazy, dude.
Came out.
That's insane, dude. That they took them that long to fucking fix it. Wow.
I'm genuinely can't believe that they brought DS2 back before they brought DS1 back.
Yeah.
Considering DS2 is what many people consider the weakest game in the franchise, it's surprising. I figure it's because the tech is probably more up to date and they were able to back patch it better. But
yeah.
Yep, that's the Dark Souls news.
Interesting.
Well, there you go. And ending the entire stream and podcast, Elon Musk now owns Twitter. And you need to pay $8 a month to have your verified check. So there you go. Love it or hate it, like it or leave it.
Has he mentioned anything about, like, if you're already verified, do you need to keep
oh yeah, you have to
going?
You have to pay.
You have to pay. You got to pay for it. If you want that check mark, you got to pay for it. So
but anybody can buy the check mark now.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know if anybody can.
No, I don't think anyone. I think you still have to be.
Or do you still need
qualified.
to go through the verification process and then pay the subscription?
Yeah, I think you still have to be the verification process. I think that it's just that's an option now, that's what you have to do to get the blue check mark from now on.
Yeah. Did you hear too that this feature? He was like, I don't know where this came from, but something about like the team that was behind this implement, they needed to get it done before like a certain date, or he was kicking them off it or something, like before November 7th. Yeah, like they have to get this implemented before November 7th, or the team gets like kicked off it.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he owns Twitter. All right. Well, that's the show, guys. I don't think we had any questions in chat, but thank you all for hanging out here. Thank you to our amazing crew, Enigma, Bill, Hungover Scruff, you know, up in the corner over here. And
69.
Yep, 69 is in the books.
Nice.
I'm actually kind of surprised there's not as many sexual innuendos as I thought there would have been, but
it was kind of a hard one to get them in, you know.
Oh, there it is. That's glad we could end it on that one.
Would have made for some sticky situations, you know.
Yeah.
Scruff, I think you're getting soft on us, buddy.
I'm just glad we came around the finish.
Yeah, you know, hey, yeah. When you're around the pre-patch crew, you always leave with a happy ending, guys. 69 is
really
in
fisting it, boys.
The books. Oh my God. Okay, we're out, guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. This is done. This is crazy. Y'all have a nice night. We'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here across all of our channels. Come check us out. And also make sure you go and download us and listen to us on your podcast apps, anchor.fm/prepatch podcast, on YouTube's, on Spotify's. Just guys, go fucking listen to us. Why not? Just we're here, we're free. You know, we're on the corner for you to listen to anytime you need a good feeling.
Oh, Battle Right servers will be shut down. I just saw that. Oh,
all right.
No, just scheduled maintenance. Never mind.
Oh my God. Okay.
Never mind.
Arrivederci, everybody. Have a good
Bye.
one.
We're out.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Laters.
Installation.